Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Tehei, namaste, jambo, ashe, shalom, shalom. All the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. Darkest minds means you can go deep, 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 deep. You're a deep, profound thinker. You go beneath the surface and then you are enlightened. Darkest minds of the light. Peace. I am Napashida. I'm going to try to make this very quick. I lined up some articles, some blogs, some chat GPT, all the good stuff. It's 2026. That stuff is pretty accurate because there's always a reference behind it. I also am going to pull some Bible scriptures. Of course, we are going to go to the blue letter. Of course, we're going to go to look at even the Qumran scrolls that are translated for us, for those of us who need that. So, peace, everybody, come on in. I have taught since about 2020 that Jesus is the serpent in the garden of Genesis chapter 3. In that book, I assert that the Elohim of the story are a council of divine beings. I have a lot of strong support coming from different veins of information in the Bible community. One being, first and foremost, that I really respect the information of the late Dr. Michael Heiser, but very many others. So the Elohim of that story are the body of council of gods, the sons of God. They are the divine council, the group of creator gods, whatever you want to call them, that are one with the almighty, unfathomable God, who is the God above all, and is not a God. Call the unfathomable God God. You now have not, now you've taken the unfathomable God down with the Elohim. So that is why you see a lot of scholars and Jewish practitioners of that faith say we don't say the name. Get it? It's in that same vein. It's in that same idea of you can't name the unfathomable God because that God is beyond our scope of thinking, conceptualizing. Right? I don't want to go too far off to the left because I can do that. I'm going to stay on the path. So the Elohim are an appointed council of the sons of God. They are an appointed council of divine beings, and they are the ones that are spoken of in that story. The serpent is not just a serpent in the garden alone. All the Elohim are serpent, symbolized as serpentine or serpent-like, because they are the Nachash. They are the shining ones. They are the beings, the shining beings. You came. It moves like a serpent. It's bright and shiny. You can look at a star in the sky, the way it twinkles and the way the brilliance of it. It has a tail. It moves in a motion that write the story would say, oh, that thing is reminiscent of a serpent. I see that flame moving, moving from left to right is looking like a serpent. So the shining ones were referred to by humans as serpents. serpents. That's not exclusive to the writers of the Hebrew Bible. Throughout that region of throughout ancient times in that region, I'm saying region because I'm thinking of the council. In that region, in that area, they often referred to divine beings as serpents. Okay? Kemetic culture, Sumerian culture, even going further east, we can say the Nagas. All of these divine beings were referred to as serpents. They're not literal snakes. Saw the way snakes moved, and they know that the snake has, venom. You know what I'm saying? It stings. And they say, oh, these flaming beings, these godlike beings, these divine beings, we call them serpents. I have to get that out of the way because so many people are like, Jesus isn't a snake. And okay, so back to the divine council. The sons of God in the ancient writing in the Bible are referred to as Elohim, or I shouldn't say referred to as Elohim. They are synonymous with Elohim. Let me just grab some. Let me get my first this blog. And the reason I'm going to this Bible hermeneutics blog is because there's so much. There's a plethora of together Michael Heiser. So let me share the screen and start reading. Share the screen and start reading. Oh, okay. Hit the like button. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. What is this? Oh, let me take that down. Okay. Now, I hope you can see it. Peace, everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. Bobby Hemmett. All right, so let's get started. Can everyone see the screen okay? Seems like it's a little small. Why don't I zoom in, darling? Zoom in a bit. Let's see here. Is that better? Everybody can see it, right? Okay. I'm going to start reading. All righty then. Where do I want to start? Oh, I want to start with the information from Dr. Michael Heiser, or what they're referring to Dr. Michael Heiser. It says, my answer here will borrow. The question was about, the answer here will borrow from an essay by Dr. Michael Heiser. Variants in Deuteronomy, by the way, I'm going to start with Deuteronomy 32. These are very popular scriptures. Verse 8 through 9, they refer to the sons of God. Variants in Deuteronomy 8 through 9. Now, we're going to look at different variants of where this information is presented as far as this scripture. And you're going to see how many people over time, because they want to hide the truth, literally went in and changed the scriptures. And that's forbidden. That's written. Anyone who changes the scriptures are, of course, I get a call when I'm live. Been sitting here all day. All right. So anyway, you're not supposed to change the scriptures, but let's get going. The Masoretic text, which we will call MT, R.I.S.E. Several later versions of the Septuagint, which we will refer to as LXX later on, says sons of Israel. Angels of God of the LXX say angels of God. But Heiser, Dr. Heiser, says this is interpretive of sons of God. Several other copies of the LXX say sons of God. So there's two different copies of the Septuagint. One is saying sons of God. Later revisions of the Septuagint. So the early Septuagint does not say sons of Israel. Interesting, isn't it? It says angels of God. That's the older versions of the Septuagint. They say angels of God. Okay, so moving on. Several other copies of the Septuagint, they say sons of God. So it says angels of God in early ones and sons of God, not Qumran text. Now we're getting to the Dead Sea Scrolls. We will refer to this later on as DSS. The Dead Sea Scrolls says sons of God. And this is the oldest copy that we can refer to. Okay? The oldest copy that we can refer to says sons of God. Just from the evidence for Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9, the sons of God variant seems the most well represented by the widest array of independent manuscript traditions. Another variant in Deuteronomy 32, verse 43, explanations of how the variants emerged. Dr. Heiser points us to another textual variant in Deuteronomy 30. Verse has three variants, again, divided between the MT, Masoretic text, the Dead Sea Scrolls, DSS, and the LXX versions, the Septuagint. The text in question is made out of bicolons, which are poetic lines that come in pairs. Example, quote, the sea looked and fled. The Jordan turned back is a bicolon. Okay, so we got that. Everybody understands that. Moving right along. Now, the longest variant of Deuteronomy 32:43, the LXX, which consists of 4 bicolons. Let's read them. O heavens, rejoice with him, bow to him, all sons of the divine. O nations, rejoice with his people, and let all angels of the divine strengthen themselves in him. For he'll avenge the blood of his sons, be vengeful, and wreak vengeance and recompense justice on his foes. Requite those who reject him, and the Lord will cleanse his people's land. The DSS, Dead Sea Scrolls, is the same as the LXX Septuagint, but is missing the second bicolon and has slightly shorter versions of the third and fourth bicolons. O heavens, rejoice with him, divinities. Second one's missing. The third, now we're in 3. For he'll avenge and wreak the vengeance of his foes. Let's go back and look at the second one if you missed that. O heavens, rejoice with him, bow to him, all sons of the divine. Here's the second. O nations, rejoice with his people, and let all angels of the divine strengthen themselves in him. Now let's go down and see the DSS is the same, seeing the second bicolon, and it has slightly shorter versions of the third and fourth bicolon. O heavens, rejoice with him, bow to him, all divinities. For he'll avenge the blood of his sons and wreak vengeance on his foes. Requite those who reject him, and will cleanse his people's land. The Masoretic text, the MT, is missing the first bicolon entirely. This is the most corrupted, if you ask me. If you ask a lot of people, a lot of scholars will tell you the MT is very, when I say corrupted, I mean manipulated, changed. A lot is taken out, a lot is changed. The Masoretic text is missing the first bicolon entirely. The second and fourth bicolons are half missing, and the third bicolon changes sons to servants. And by the way, the Masoretic text, the MT, is what the blue letter uses. So beware when you're using the blue letter. Tread lightly. Okay. See, one is missing with the Masoretic text. Let's go back up and see what actually, when we go to the longest variant, let's read it. O heavens, rejoice with him, bow to him. This is what they're trying to hide in the Masoretic text. Ready? All sons of the divine. They're trying to, okay? They're also going to hide all angels of the divine. They're going to hide stuff like that. Let's go down and see if I'm telling the truth. Of course I am. Let's get to the MT, the Masoretic text. O nations, rejoice his people. One is completely gone. For he'll avenge the blood of his servants and wreak the vengeance of his land. This is sadness. Complete corruption. Everything that's proving that these are divine beings, that these are divine, these are not human, is being taken out. The longest variant in the Septuagint, right, shows you that it's talking about sons of God. So, summary of Deuteronomy evidence. The LXX, the Septuagint of Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9, and 32, verse 43, both include God or even angels of God. The Dead Sea Scrolls of Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9, and 32, verse 43, both include references to sons of God or just straight gods. But the Masoretic text of Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9, that instead refers to sons of Israel. And 32:43 completely lacks references to sons of God, angels themselves. Get it? Lies, hiding, manipulation. And that's why we have people saying, you're lying. I mean, the original text shows that they are Elohim, that they are sons of God, and they are a council. It is not just the Most High alone. It is a council, a very large, we cannot number, but some say 70. There are numerous creator divine beings in Genesis, in the creation, and the scriptures prove it. While the LXX and the DSS are not identical, they still agree that the original reading of Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9, read, quote, son of God. Now, yes, this is Deuteronomy 32. It's not Genesis 3, but it correlates with what I'm showing, what is already there. It proves that I'm not just grabbing that out of the air, so to speak, that the original text says that there is a council of divine beings, and they are under the government of the Most High God. All right, let's keep going. The Masoretic text represents a minority variant of Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9. That was probably, and it was probably altered intentionally. Are y'all hearing this? It was probably altered, of course it was, intentionally to, quote, protect God or correct theology. We're going to read more about this. That is, it was altered intentionally to remove references to divine beings other than. This is supported by the Masoretic text's more overt alterations in Deuteronomy 32:43. Where again, the Septuagint and the Dead Sea Scrolls largely agree that it refined beings. Altogether, the manuscript evidence for Deuteronomy 32 supports the conclusion that sons of God is the original of 32, verse 8 through 9. Now, somebody mentioned in this whole something about bull L to refer to that. I'm not getting into the bull L or the the Ugaritic or anything like that. I'm sticking to the Israelite Bible, right? The Bible of Israel. not discounting the Ugaritic information, but this isn't a stream about that right now. So it says the Bull L reading mentioned has major weakness. This is according to the blogger, in that it is an entirely hypothetical reconstruction found in no existing variants. I'm just reading this to let you know that I'm being completely transparent. I'm not trying to skew any information that I'm getting from this Bible hermeneutics blog. Okay. As for Deuteronomy 32:43, Dr. Heiser implies via Tigay, one of his sources, which is one of his variant, represents the closet form. See how it says closet form? That's why we are the darkest minds. We go beneath the surface, drag information out. The closet form to the original, with the LXX having, actually, I think that might be, he might have said closest, but I'm thinking that they're hiding stuff. So that's why I'm saying closet. But anyway, the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint, which we saw in the previous information that I just presented in this, which was presented in this blog, which is solid. Okay. They're talking about primary sources. The Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint are primary sources of this. Those who might lose me, I'm talking about she's using a blog. Oh, yeah. This blog is talking about the primary sources and a Bible expert who is the late Dr. Michael Heiser. So anyway, the Septuagint having added materials and the MT having removed and altered materials. Circumstantial supporting evidence. Now we're going to go to the book of Daniel, right? Daniel 10 through 12 contains an unusual feature in that it suggests the nations of the earth correspond to angelic figures. These chapters specifically refer to an angelic prince of Persia. That's chapter 10, verses 13 and verse 20, and a prince of Greece, chapter 10, verse 20. And Michael, which is the God, they're talking about the archangel, or some people say, archangel Michael. I always say angel Michael. It says Michael, the prince of Israel, chapter 10. So what's being said here is in these chapters, you'll see leaders of countries, actual human countries, human nations, being led by and references to angelic divine beings. Okay, the book of Daniel displays unity with an existing law of Moses, chapter 9, verse 11, verse 13. So it may be the author's concept that nations correspond to angels. Nations correspond to angels comes from the sons of God, reading Deuteronomy 32, 8 through 9. So basically what's being said is the nations were separated and given unto these divine, Deuteronomy 32. So in Daniel, you'll see, oh, okay, see, we've got this nation led by this angel Michael, and then another, the Persia. There's an angelic prince. So this is circumstantial supporting evidence. That I believe this is Dr. Heiser as well uses this information. This is from Dr. Heiser. So the resources, of course, that were used in this blog in this Bible hermeneutics blog is from, like I mentioned, Dr. Michael Heiser. 32:8 and the Sons of God. I absolutely love Dr. Michael Heiser. Rest in peace. Thank you for all this information. I'm going to just move straight through this. According to the script writer, the Sons of God is a group of Jesuits. Okay. Am I glitching? Oh, wow. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. Did you get the gist? Damn. I'm blanking out, huh? Well, I hope you could read the information. Basically, what I was presenting, thank you for letting me know that pattern. The information that I'm giving, I might switch to, hold on, give me a minute. Give me just a moment, darling. I'm going to do something here. I'm always switching. Give me 1 second, okay? I'm going to change up here because I don't want to keep on doing that. Ah, who is calling me, God?
Not put you at where my people at. Not put you at where my people at. I need you to help me on this mission. Yeah, this is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of that prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion, signed up to be the truth. You know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers are so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. It's sad to see you believe in Jesus, but your logic breaks apart in 1,000 pieces. God killer, not gonna let that slide. You drowning in a myth, you had nowhere to hide. The HOK is a tough-ass environment where we trade blind faith for mental empowerment. I'll give you scriptures for your mind, this is the key. It's time to unlearn everything you believe. The house of consciousness, start looking within. That's where the real liberation begins. This is for my brothers trapped in religion. Open up your eyes, break out of that prison. This is for my brothers trapped in religion, signed up to be the truth. You know he's on a mission. The HOK is more than just a place. It's the toughest environment where you check your faith. Bomb squad and pseudo killers who check your sources. Don't come in here fronting cause you leave with losses. The Bible written to break your spirit, built to keep you low, feeding you metaphors, stopping your growth. This is for my brothers trapping religion, signed up to be the truth. You know he's on a mission. It's sad to see my brothers are so lost. It's sad to see you believe in things that's false. Saneta, 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 don't stop. Don't give up on us. Please sign it up. Please sign it up. Sign it.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if I'm coming in clear. Am I still glitching? In anybody who's in the chat? Am I still glitching or am I sounding much better? I think I'm sounding much better. I'll drop the link. I just want to get this information out though. Okay, thank you, twins. All right, so here's the link. And it will be pinned. I'm not going to be here long. It will be pinned at the top. I'm going to pin it to the top of the chat. Now, back to what I was saying. I don't know how much you heard. Unfortunately, I was glitching. But basically, I was reading the original writings, which are in the Dead Sea Scrolls, Qumran Scrolls, and also the oldest version of the Septuagint show that it says sons of God and even angels of God. So it's undeniably divine beings. All right, so now let me get to another piece of information. I just want to go through all of what I lined up to read, just to give, there are articles going on. So we were on there talking about the Masoretic text, right? And the Masoretic text is clearly, it shows that the original documents have been manipulated. They've removed information. And so we're going to read this. This is a website called the Torah. So we're going to hear straight from, the people of the people of the people who created this, or should I say, put together, yes, created the text, the Masoretic text. They went in with the original Hebrew that didn't have like vowel points and all this good stuff, and they added things. So I'm not knocking it or supporting it, but we are going to see how it has been manipulated. We're going to take a look at this, and we're going to see it's been hidden from you. Why? Why has it been hidden from us? Why? Because those writers, or those manipulators, I should say, didn't want people to see that there is more than one God, or there are other gods in the text, because they were moving toward, of course, it's a monotheistic religion, but it's really about monotry, or monolatry, or monolatry, I should say, monolatry. Monolatry is the worship of one God and understanding there is one power, but you acknowledge that there are other gods. So that's monolatry. Monolatry is the worship of one God, but acknowledging that there are other gods. That is actually what the religion of the Hebrew religion is really about: monolatry, not monotheism. And it's all through the writings. That's why God says in the Torah, do not worship those other gods. There's an acknowledgement of those other gods. Just worship me. Get it? So anyway, let's read this article in the Torah website, the Torah.com. Textual criticism of the Torah, 10 short case studies. All right. See if I'm sharing it. No, I'm not. I want to share it though. So let me get it. Share the screen. Okay. Take this down. And so when I teach Jesus as a serpent in the garden, this is why. The research that I have, it shows clearly that the Elohim was not the most high, unfathomable God. All right. So it was other gods. And throughout the Bible, it's the whole theme is these other gods want you to serve them. In the garden, these other gods don't want mankind to be on the same level as them, which is what Jesus, Yeshua wants. Jesus wants you to be on the same level. Jesus wants you to be your highest self. But the Elohim that were against mankind did not want them to have knowledge of good and evil, because you can't be a God. You cannot be a good judge if you don't know the difference between good and evil. You can't. So that's why Christ is the serpent in Genesis 3. Jesus is the serpent in Genesis 3 in that story. All right, let me read this. Let's look at some information that supports or explains, I should say, why the writers in the Masoretic text manipulated, removed, and hid, closeted the truth about the divine counsel. Let me read this for you. Okay. The sons of Israel, or God, Deuteronomy 32, verse 8. This is by Professor Emmanuel Tov. Okay, so the Ha'azinu poem towards the end of Deuteronomy 32, verse 1 to 43, also known as the Song of Moses, contains a passage, which is Deuteronomy 32, 8, which describes the early days of the world when the god Elyon, make a note that it says Elyon, it doesn't say Yahweh. The god Elyon, which is most high, fixed or divided up. He divided up or fixed, or I shouldn't say he. I'm just going to say the most high, because there is no gender on the most high, right? So let me go back. God, Elion, the Most High, divided up the boundaries of the peoples of the world in accordance with the number of the sons of Israel. Now we're looking at the Masoretic, right? That's what the Masoretic text says. There wasn't even Israel at that time when this was written. So let's read what the Masoretic text has manipulated and turned the original text into. When the Most High apportioned the nations, when he divided humankind, he fixed the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the sons of Israel. That doesn't even make any sense. The final word has many variants. When we look at the Masoretic text, it says the Israelites. When you look at the Qumran scrolls, it says sons of God, divine beings. And that's the oldest text to be examined. When you look at the Septuagint, the earliest writings, right? Okay, because they're different. Remember, they're different. There are revised versions of the first original writing of the Septuagint, the original translation, which would be the Septuagint, the Torah into the Greek, from the Hebrew to the Greek, right? Stay with me. So when we look at LXX 848 106C, okay? So this is one version of the Septuagint. It still says sons of God, divine beings, just like it says in the Dead Sea Scrolls. In another version, in a revision, it says LXX, the most MSS, it says messengers of God, divine beings. So it's getting changed. You see that? The worst of all, I'm saying worst, this is my opinion, the most misleading is the Masoretic text where it says the Israelites. Okay, according to the Masoretic version, the Most High divided the peoples of the world, specifically into the numbers of the sons of Israel, ostensibly a reference to the 70 descendants of Jacob that came to Egypt according to Deuteronomy 10:22, as well as Genesis 46:27 and Exodus 1:5 in the Masoretic text. See case study 2. I'm reading this so you can see that I'm being completely transparent, letting you see both sides. And you're going to see, like you're seeing right now, that it has been changed. The original that says the divine beings, sons of God, has been changed to make you think that it says human beings, Israelites. This is a strange claim. What is so significant about this number? If anything, as noted above, the symbolism goes in the opposite direction. The number of Jacob's descendants represent the people of the world. In contrast, the reading in the Dead Sea Scrolls and in the Septuagint make perfect sense. The Most High divided all the peoples of the world between the divine beings, with each people possessing their own deity. Dun, dun, dun. Exactly. The footnote here is, this is Tigay, Jeffrey H. Tigay, which the late Dr. Michael Heiser uses his information, the JPS commentary, Deuteronomy, JPS commentary, Deuteronomy. So this is, if you can see, I'm highlighting this footnote. You can see it all here. Here is the primary source that you can go to and read. When I say primary source, I'm not talking about the Septuagint itself or the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm talking about in this article, they refer to Tigay. So we got that, right? Moving right along. So indeed, the next version continues this point nicely. All right. Deuteronomy 32:9. For Yahweh's portion is his people, Jacob, God's own allotment. This is the Masoretic text, y'all. So totally twisted, totally manipulated. I believe they're going to explain why in this article, but let me keep reading. This imagery of an assembly of divine beings presided over by a supreme God, the Most High Elyon, appears also in Psalms 82 and 1 Kings 22:19. Yes, it does. And that's why I said Elohim correlates or is synonymous with the sons of God. And the sons of God are divine beings. That's why the information, this is solid information that backs my teachings that Jesus was a part of an Elohim, a council of creator gods, divine beings, and broke away. That can be supported in the book of Enoch, broke away from these beings with another, of course, with other divine beings, but those beings are not represented in Genesis chapter 3. Broke away from them and being the benevolent side of the Elohim, served mankind, even though they were the creators and what you would say higher than the humankind. They serve mankind. Christ serves mankind. How much more can you serve? You give your entire life, even though you're a divine being. Solid information. All praise to the Most High. I'm getting goosebumps because I'm getting spiritual confirmation. I really hope you guys can hear me. Let me check. I haven't even checked the I could be talking and talking and people are like, we can't even hear you. Let me see. Can you hear me okay? All right. Everybody's here. Yes, Elohim is plural. Yes, it is. That is illuminated. Everybody can hear me, right? I hope so. Peace and love to everybody who's out here supporting. And it might not be a big, huge audience, but you're getting the information. Trust me, you can come back to this information and never fail. If you want to find solid information supporting that the Elohim of Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3 are not the Most High God, you can definitely get into these scriptures, into this commentary, and you will be able to say, yeah, of course it's not. It is the sons of God. It's not God. It's not the Most High God. They are the appointed creator gods. Are they divine? Are they all one with God? Of course. That's why Jesus says, I and the Father are one. How could you ask to see me, see the Father when you've been with me the whole time? I'm one with the Most High. And these divine beings were and are still one with the Most High. You understand? Okay, so let me get back to this article. It's important for me to read all this because I want you to see that it has been changed. Okay, so this imagery of an assembly of divine beings presided over by a supreme God, which is the Most High Elyon, appears in Psalms 82 and 1 Kings 22:19, and is familiar from the Ugaritic poetry. The Masoretic text Sons of Israel reflects a conscious intervention. Please take note of this. A conscious intervention in the text by a scribe who was uncomfortable. How dare he, right? Who was uncomfortable with the polytheistic picture of divine beings. And thus, that scribe demythologized the original polytheistic description by replacing the word God with Israel. Shame. Shame. Okay? That is written by, this is a Jewish publication speaking about this people, the scribes in the Masoretic text. They completely removed or took it away or changed, completely manipulated the original writing, which said divine beings, a divine council. Okay? There it is. Because they were uncomfortable with the polytheistic picture of divine beings. So that was short, right? Short and sweet. Previous in the series, okay, who wrote this? Well, Professor Emmanuel Tove is a J.L. Magnus Professor of Bible Emeritus in the Department of Bible at the Hebrew University, where he received his PhD in Biblical Studies. He was the editor of 33 volumes of discoveries in the Judean, I'm going to read his whole blog, I'm going to read it, okay? In the Judean desert. Among his many publications are scribal practices and approaches reflected in the text found in the Judean desert, textual criticisms of the Bible, an introduction, the Biblical Encyclopedia Library 31, and the text critical use of the Septuagint in the Bible research. So this man is no, he's no dummy. He knows what he's talking about. And I believe he's Jewish. And he's saying, no, this was hidden. No, this looks like it was hidden. Of course it was. So moving right along, getting through all of these articles and this information. I am using primary sources when I talk about the Bible. Okay. I'm giving you commentary from Bible scholars. Okay. But the primary sources are the original Septuagint and the original Dead Sea Scrolls. Original, meaning the writing, the original text. Get it? So let's move right along to another article. This is by Dr. Michael Heiser again. I use a lot of Dr. Michael Heiser because Michael Heiser is a Christian. Michael Heiser does not teach or did not teach Jesus is the serpent in the garden. That is my original teaching. And it has picked up, all praises to the Most High. It has picked up over time with many people who subscribe to the Bible and many people who don't. People like Brother Sanchez is twisting my teaching to say that, the Bible is satanic and little things like that. I'm not being disrespectful to him. I'm just saying I'm giving an example. He's a well-known teacher. A lot of people are taking the information and they're using it like they will, just like they do with all information. But what my goal is to show you that in Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3, the Elohim is not the Most High, unfathomable God that Jesus refers to as the Father. Okay? That is a council of creator gods that Jesus, the Spirit, the divine being, Christ, not the man, the divine being was a part of that in the beginning. And so moving forward, you will see that people are now saying, hey, I can see it now. The serpent didn't lie. The Elohim actually lied. They said, don't go get knowledge of good and evil. Why would a benevolent, good God not want us to know the difference between what is good and what is bad? So we can have good judgment and we can be a part of that Elohim as Jesus said, ye are gods. Christ said, didn't the Bible tell you that? Christ says that in the gospel. So as I was saying, I want to read all of these articles to give you as much information as I can so you can do your own research. Here is an article by, again, the late, great Dr. Michael Heiser. Rest in peace. Sons of God. Sons of Israel, I should say. Sons of Israel or sons of God in Deuteronomy 32:8. This is from an article from 2017. As I mentioned to you, I've been teaching this since 2020. I got this information from Dr. Heiser was very helpful for me because before 2020, I could find nothing talking about Jesus being the serpent in Genesis chapter 3. I had to, put it all together and look at his teachings, look at the original teaching, the writings about sons of God, yada, yada, yada. So let's read this article by Dr. Heiser. After the great flood, everyone had one language. Humanity congregated in the region of Babylonia, the land of Shinar, and started building a tower that would reach into the heavens. That's in Genesis 11, verses 1 through 9. God stopped the project by transforming the single language into many, dispersing humanity over the earth and creating the nations and the regions listed in Genesis 10. Most people think it ends there, but there's more. The story picks up again in Deuteronomy 32, verses 8 through 9. And the story changes depending on what Bible version you use. When the Most High apportioned the nations as an inheritance, when he divided up humankind, he established the borders of the peoples according to the number of the sons of God, the divine council, the divine beings, the sons of God, the Elohim. But the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob, his allotted heritage. Some Bibles may read, quote, sons of Israel, instead of, quote, sons of God. The difference is due to an ancient manuscript disagreement with major theological ramifications. So Dr. Heiser shows what I showed you earlier in that other article. Deuteronomy 32:8. Here you see the Masoretic text, and it says, when the Most High gave the nations their inheritance. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says, when the Most High gave the nations their inheritance. Matches, right? It goes on to say, when he divided humanity. That's the Masoretic. In Dead Sea Scrolls, when he divided humanity. So far, so good, right? Let's keep going. Masoretic text says, he fixed the borders of the people. Dead Sea Scrolls says, he fixed the borders of the people. Oh, it's looking pretty good. Let's get to the Masoretic text for this line. According to the number of the sons of Israel. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what the Dead Sea Scrolls say, which are the much older than the Masoretic text, of course. According to the sons of God. So those who created the Masoretic text and wrote this sons of Israel, they changed what is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. They changed the original phrase, the sons of God. They manipulated it. Let's look at the Deuteronomy 32:43, which Dr. Michael Heiser also examines. In the Masoretic text, it says, O nations, acclaim his people. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says, rejoice, O heavenly ones, with him. Wow, that's pretty different. The Masoretic text is misleading you to make you think, oh, it's talking about just human beings. Nothing to see here, no divine beings. Just keep moving along and think that they're talking to human beings. But it says in the Dead Sea Scrolls, rejoice, O heavenly ones. In the Masoretic text, we went over this already, but this is another article. I'm going to drive it home, right? It's completely missing in the Masoretic text. But in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says, bow down, all you gods, before him. In the Masoretic text, verse 2a says, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says, for he will avenge the blood of his sons. In the Masoretic text, 2b says, he will exact vengeance on his adversaries. In the Dead Sea Scrolls, it says, he will exact vengeance on his adversaries. So you can see they are matching. So you know that the Masoretic text took what they wanted to manipulate and change and kept what they thought was okay. Verse 3 is completely missing in the Masoretic text. Let's look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, which they used when they did their translations, right? Let's see what it says in the Dead Sea Scrolls. He will repay those who hate them. Oh, it's completely missing in the Masoretic text. 3b in the Masoretic text says, and make atonement for his land and his people. Let's see what the original Dead Sea Scrolls say. And make atonement for his people's land. So they changed it. They changed the Dead Sea Scrolls. O nations, acclaim his people, Masoretic. Dead Sea Scrolls, rejoice, O heavenly ones. Completely changed it. Dr. Michael Heiser goes on to write, is sons of Israel accurate? Most English Bibles have, quote, sons of Israel or something similar because the translation is based on the traditional Hebrew text of the Old Testament, known to us as the Masoretic text. There, we found the problem, doctor. This is it. We found it. It's the Masoretic text. That's why everybody's super haywire. The translation is based on the traditional Hebrew text, which is known to us as the Masoretic text, which manipulated the original text itself. But how does God dividing humankind and fixing the boundaries of the people, quote, according to the number of the sons of Israel, make any sense at all? Right. Thank you, Dr. Heiser. Deuteronomy 32:8 harkens back to what happened at Babel. And Israel did not even exist at that time. If you read through the, quote, tables of nations in Genesis 10, Israel does not even appear in the tables of nations. Exactly. Quote, sons of God is the reading in two other older manuscripts. We talked about this already in my stream right now. It is written in the Septuagint, which is an ancient Greek translation of the Old Testament, and which is Old Testament meaning Torah, and the Dead Sea Scrolls. Oh, actually, Torah meaning Tanakh, I should say. And the older manuscript, which is the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a set of manuscripts discovered in the desert not too far from Jerusalem. Bible translators agree that Sons of God is the more original reading. Bible translators agree that Sons of God, not Children of Israel or Sons of Israel, Sons of God is a more original reading, but they usually place it in a footnote at Deuteronomy 32:8, not in the actual text. Interesting, right? The English Standard Version, though, and others place Sons of God right into their translation. Why is there a difference? Deuteronomy 32:8. Let me just check the chat real quick and make sure that I'm coming in clear. Mighty Hebrew says, it only makes sense when one understands that Yisrael are Elohim embodied in human form. Okay, let me see what's being said in here. Let me take a break from what I'm reading and let's go back to peace, beautiful G. Okay, so we got God's exist in every word. Okay. Not too many with good judgment nowadays. Okay, it's back up. All right, great. Shalom, mighty Hebrew. Just reading through all of this. Israel is Elohim embodied in human form. Okay, that would be a different conversation, right? Because before they were human form, they were Elohim. So I don't think you're disagreeing with me. Let me keep reading. Peace and blessing. Peace, Patmos. The 70 souls of Jacob, Israel the 70 souls of Jacob aligns with the 70 nations, Bereshit. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. Tehillim 82 verse, okay, shows Israel are not humans, but Elohim embodied in human form. Okay, I'm not saying, all right, so that, Mighty Hebrew, I would love for you to come in and do a lesson on that, because like I said, this isn't what you're saying isn't, and I'm not saying you were even going against what I'm saying, but you are in agreement and in agreement with me that the Elohim are divine spiritual beings initially. So yeah, what you're putting out right there doesn't dispute what I'm saying from what I'm just reading back. Immortal Dragon Review says, this is why everyone asks for primaries and do you read the language? Oh yeah, exactly. Okay. Philip Baines, peace to you. It was Israel as Elohim that formed the universe. Okay. So basically what I see Mighty Hebrew asserting is that the Elohim being the initial spiritual are now embodied in the Israelite the nation of Israel, which which present as human beings in flesh and blood. Okay, so It only makes sense. Got it. All right, great. So we're on the same page now. Shalom. All right. Yes. Okay, great. So, yes, that what I'm showing is the Elohim as a council of spiritual beings in the beginning. Yes. So good. That's why I want to check the chat, make sure everybody is, saying what they like to say and participating. That's great. I didn't want to just be reading and then people are like, we can't hear you. All right. So basically, this article that I'm sharing just shows that the Masoretic text changed a lot. Okay. So let me see what else is on here. I wanted to keep reading this. Let me get this. Let me just read. It's not much more. Why is there a difference? Dr. Heiser says Deuteronomy 32:8 is a textbook example of how later scribes sometimes changed biblical text in a misguided attempt to, quote, protect God's reputation. Other parts of Deuteronomy were also changed by scribes. For example, we talked about Deuteronomy 32:43. When you line up the Dead Sea Scrolls reading with the Masoretic text, as we saw was done in this article, the traditional Hebrew text most English translations are based upon, which is the Masoretic text, you can see that the original text was altered. It was altered. Notice that Deuteronomy 32:43 in the Dead Sea Scrolls has 3 poetic pairings. Since it's a poetic section, symmetry is not only important, it's expected. The Masoretic text reading has removed or altered parts of 2 of the pairings. Remember we talked about bicolons in the other article? The first, as in Deuteronomy 32:8, eliminates references to other divine beings. Quote, sons of God in 32:8, quote, heavenly ones, and quote, gods in 32:43. Those aren't humans. At some point, a scribe thought this reference to other gods was theologically offensive. How dare that scribe? We're offended that you changed it when you should have left it alone. The first line of the final pairing was removed because someone hating God was also offensive. So they thought in that on the line where it says that if someone hates God, they changed that part because they thought it was offensive to say hate God. But obviously there are haters of God, right? We have a lot of people out here who hate God. So we didn't need that scribe to do that. We're offended by that. God, of course, doesn't need to be protected by zealous scribes or anyone else. Speak your speech, Dr. Heiser. Bless your soul. God, of course, doesn't need to be protected. The Most High's people need the truth. That's why we're all confused right now. It's just like the Tower of Babel. When they went in and said, oh, confuse them, mix it all up, change the language. That's what the scribe did. And that's why we have people saying that the Elohim are not a council of divine beings. God, of course, doesn't need people to be protected by a zealous scribe or anyone else. Israel's doctrine was that Yahweh, was unique and above all other divine beings. Okay? In a severe judgment, the nations at Babel were disinherited by Yahweh, and given over to the administration of other gods, whose actions would be judged by the God of Israel. This paved the way for God to create new people who are Israel in the very next chapter of Genesis. That's where we got Mighty Hebrew coming in, where his teachings are this information that we just read makes what Mighty Hebrew presented in the text very intriguing. See that? This paved the way for God to create new people, Israel, in the very next chapter of Genesis. And ironically, it was through Abraham's seed that the disinherited nations would be reclaimed. Interesting. Wow. Wow. Okay. So that's it. That was an excerpt from Dr. Heiser's book. I dare you not to bore. I dare you not to bore me with the Bible. Oh my God. I'm getting a little emotional. I have, you know, a lot of respect for Bible scholars, Christians who come in and tell the truth about the Bible. We don't need you to protect us from the truth. We don't, right? Okay. Peace, everybody. This is why you're my favorite teacher. This was fire. Wow. Thank you. I hope I'm saying this right. Arius Sims. Wow. I'm not done yet. But thank you. That is awesome. I really humbly appreciate that. And by the way, I want to shout out everyone that I've learned from. I have learned a lot from Mighty Hebrew. This brother is one of my teachers. Each one teach one, right? So I appreciate you and Arius. I hope you're out there teaching as well. We're all, I call it the universal mind of God. We're all linked in the consciousness of the universal mind of God. Okay, I'm not going to go back into my pseudo bag right now. I'm going to get back to this. But thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. Now I want to just get to all of these articles. Here is another article that I want to share. And yeah, just to give you some background, right? On what's going on with this. Why is this stuff hidden? What are the scholars saying about this? This is an article. It's more like a podcast. But again, there is information that I really enjoyed or find interesting in here. And it refers to primary sources or experts, Bible scholars. So this is very useful, okay? Don't let everybody tell you, oh, you're using this and that. You're using a blog. If there's a blog that I used earlier with the hermeneutics and it has very crucial information, it's a useful blog. So you just have to know where to go, all right? Okay, so let's get right to it. Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9, sons of God. Oh, am I beating a dead horse? No, I don't think so. I think I'm bringing you different veins of information that you can say, oh, okay, so this person said that, this person said this. Let's listen to this, right? There is quite a bit going on in Deuteronomy 32, perhaps more than meets the eye when it is first read. First of all, it is worth noting that this text has a few variations and for good reason. So don't you guys feel good? Like you guys know what the variations are, right? You know, there's the Masoretic text. You know that there's the Septuagint, different versions of the Septuagint. You know that there's the Qumran scroll, the Dead Sea Scrolls. So you understand. And then, of course, all of those that we just quoted are foundations of what you're reading now in your Bibles. So the text that you read in your actual Bibles, like the KJV, the NIV, all the Bibles, right? They are coming from they're coming from the Masoretic text, the Septuagint, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? So the Dead Sea Scrolls, quote, when Elion gave the nation, so this is a translation from the Dead Sea Scrolls. When Elion, that's the Most High, gave the nations as an inheritance, when he separated the sons of man, he set the boundaries of the people according to the number of the sons of God, the B'nai Elohim. For Yahweh's portion was his people. Jacob was the lot of his inheritance. Now we're going to look at the Septuagint once again, the LXX. When the Most High divided the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, remember we said there are different versions, right? Okay, so let's keep reading. He set the boundaries, I'm saying of the LXX. He set the boundaries of the nations according to the numbers of the angels of God. Sometimes it says sons of God in the Septuagint. Sometimes it says angels of God. And his people, Jacob, became the portion of the Lord. Israel was the line of his inheritance. Masoretic text says, quote, when Elion gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided all the sons of man, he set the boundaries of the people according to the numbers of the sons of Israel. For Yahweh's portion of his people, Jacob was the lot of his inheritance. So I see what I'm also reading this and thinking about what Mighty Hebrew said. Mighty Hebrew is saying the sons of Israel are representing the sons of God, which are the divine beings, which are the Elohim. That's what he's saying when you're talking about the Masoretic text. However, this is misleading because people are not going into it like Mighty Hebrew is, right? They're reading it for surface value. And they're seeing, oh, sons of Israel, that's not any divine council. That's not the Elohim. So, yeah. Mark Smith, in his book, The Origins of Biblical Monotheism, works to illustrate that the Semitic people of the times that the Old Testament books were written believed in a pantheon of gods. You see that? That's why I wanted to read this article. They were, I'm going to get I hate butchering words. It's monolatry, but I'm going to correctly, monolatry. I always do that. See, I always do that. I'm not perfect. Monolatry. So it's MONOLATRY, monolatry. Okay. Monolatry is the belief in the existence of multiple gods, but the insistence on the exclusive worship of only a single deity. Israel has never been monotheistic, my friends. It is monolatrous. Monolatrous meaning they practice or they had a belief that was called monolatry. Monolatry is the belief in the existence of multiple gods, but the insistence, commandment on the exclusive worship of only a single deity. So they're not monotheistic. They are monolatrous. Monolatry. So let me get back to that. Mark Smith, in his book, The Origins of Biblical Monotheism, works to illustrate that the Semitic people of the times that the Old Testament books were written believed in a pantheon of gods. That is also the Israelites of that time. Okay? A concept which is foreign to modern readers. In this pantheon, El and his consort Asherah occupied the first tier. Now, this is not, he's talking about the region. He's talking about the Canaanite region. He's going back to when I said that we're going to explore like the Ugaritic text. However, the Israelites acknowledged other gods. That's why the Most High said, do not worship those other gods. Check. Keep reading. El and his consort, Asherah, occupied the first tier, commanding or governing a multitude of gods in a hierarchy of 4 tiers of divine beings. I wanted to read this article to you because I want you to see the broader aspect beyond what Israel started to do. Before they worshiped one God, Israel in that region, I'm saying regent. I want to talk about kings because I'm talking about divine beings in the region, in the area. Calm down, Nepal. In that region, in ancient times, even those who are called Israel were in the community of Canaan. They were essentially Canaanites, like how we're Americans, but we have like Yugoslavians, we have Russians, we have Native Americans, we have Nigerians, all making up what we call the United States. That's what Canaan was. But I'm letting you know, before the Israelites said, look, we're coming out of Kemet, we're coming out of Egypt, we're just going to have our own thing. We're separating from these nations. We're not going to worship these other gods. We're not going to worship Asherah. We're not going to worship El. We're going to just have our God. Come on, let's do this, you guys. Before that, they were all, there were so many different gods. And Asherah and El were prominent gods worshipped in that region, even by people who were Israelites before they started to follow the covenant of Moses. You understand? All right, great. So the second tier was inhabited by the children of El and his consort, and were called sons of God. So see, now we're stepping out of just the Bible and Israel and the writings, right? We're talking about that entire region. And that region, people commonly worshiped El and Asherah. Okay? The third tier comprising of craftsmen or artisan deities. Isn't that interesting? You heard that, right? Artisan deities, craftsmen. Those would be, if you look at the book of Enoch, they taught, Semyaza taught this, and this deity, this son of God taught the men this, how to make weapons, women how to paint their faces. This is what was known in that ancient region about the gods. When I talk about hierarchy, there's a hierarchy of gods. Now, again, I don't want you to get confused, and I know you're not. I'm not saying that this is in the Bible. This is showing you a broader perspective of what was going on in that time, letting you know that it's not far-fetched that you would see a writing in the Qumran scrolls, in the ancient, now I'm getting to the Bible, in the Hebrew writing, I should say in the Qumran scrolls, the people of Israel wrote, hey, the divine council of God, the sons of God, the divine beings, Elohim, plural. See, because they knew, there's a council of gods. There's not just one God and then Jesus. I'm saying that's what they wrote. That's what was a reality to them. That is what was literal. Shout out to Brother Reggie and Brother Jabari. Their debate coming up. Were the netters literal? They literally believed in different gods. Got it? So Smith cites Kothar Wahasis as an example of a third-level deity in the Ugaritic pantheon. So now I'm jumping out of the information. We're going away from what I was talking about with the Septuagint and the Qumran scrolls. We're looking at the broader perspective of that region. Okay. Kothar is a maker. Okay, so Smith cites Kothar Wahasis. This is a god that is in the Ugaritic pantheon. Kothar is, which predates the God of Israel. Okay. When I say predates, I'm not saying in my belief like God is infinite. There is no time that constricts my belief. I'm not talking about my belief. I'm talking about the text. Please take note of that. Okay. So the Ugaritic text predates what we have for the Hebrew text. We're on the same page, right? I'm not looking at the chat yet. Kothar is a maker. The god Kothar is a maker of gadgets and weapons, from Baal. Kind of like the character Alfred as he relates to Batman. Okay. The fourth tier of the divine beings act as messengers of God. Interesting, because those are angels for us in the Hebrew Bible. Servants to the gods who occupy the first three tiers. Okay. Later redactors of Old Testament text were uncomfortable. Here we're talking about the Masoretic text scribes with their bold behinds. Shameful. Later redactors of Old Testament texts were uncomfortable with the polytheistic nature of earlier Hebrew text. Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9 is a text which emphasizes the ideas that a council of divine beings. Now we're back in the Bible. Now we're back in the actual text of the story of Genesis. Now we're back talking about Genesis 1-3, where I say Jesus is the serpent in the garden and that the Elohim is not the most high God. It is a council of divine beings. Thank you, sir. They existed with tiers or rankings of these divine beings as Smith asserts. Let's listen to what Smith asserts in his writings. Okay. The traditional Hebrew text, the Masoretic text, traditional, not original, because the original would be the Hebrew text that is closer to the Phoenician that is found in the Qumran scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? So the traditional Hebrew text, Masoretic text, perhaps reflects a discomfort with polytheistic theology of Israel, for it shows not divine sons, which is the actual writing, the original writing, B'nai Elohim, as in the Greek and the Dead Sea Scrolls show, as in the Septuagint and the Qumran scrolls show. But it shows sons of Israel instead in the Masoretic text. Emmanuel Tov, we just read the article from our brother, Emmanuel Tov. He labels the Masoretic text here as, quote, anti-polytheistic alteration. The text of the Septuagint and the Dead Sea Scrolls shows Israelite polytheism, which focuses on the central importance of Yahweh for Israel within the larger scheme of the world. That's why I wanted to read this, to show you perspective, the larger perspective of what was going on from the worldview in that region at that time. Yet this larger scheme provides a place for the other gods of the other nations in the world. In the Bible, the Most High separates the nations and assigns them to the other gods, the sons of God. Moreover, even if this text is mute about the gods who preside over the divine assembly, it does maintain a place for such a God who is not Yahweh. Of course, later traditions could identify the figure of Elyon with Yahweh, just as many scholars have done. However, the title of Elyon, Most High, seems to denote the figure of El, the presider par excellence, not only at the Ugarit, but also Psalms 82, verse 3. Now, for me, that's where I assert in my teachings from my belief system, what I have come to the conclusion is that there is a God even above the God of the Bible, the God of Israel, Yahweh. Of course there is. We cannot say that a God that we can identify is the unfathomable God. That's the point. Is Yahweh the God that is the most high of the Bible that I absolutely worship, respect, and identify as the God of all when it comes to the Israelites and the world and the actual physical people? Yeah. But do I know that there is a God above this God, Yahweh? The scriptures say so, not just me. And it's not a Canaanite God. It's not an Israelite God. It's not a Kemetic God. There is an unfathomable God that we cannot get next to, that allows us to understand in our scope of conceptualization, in our consciousness, to say, okay, don't worry about who I am as the unfathomable God. This is your God, Yahweh. He is the father of Yahushai, which is Jesus. And this is the God that is above all gods in this material realm. And that's enough for me. So I'm obedient and I follow suit. You don't have to believe like I believe. I'm talking about my beliefs now. But then I'm taking it back to me and my years of studying and looking at the scriptures, seeing and understanding outside of the scriptures, my consciousness, that there is an unfathomable God. You can talk about the Kabbalah being wicked and all this other stuff if you want, but there's the concept in the Kabbalah that says that the Most High condensed self down to be able to let us have a portion of what is the unfathomable Most High God, right? And gives us a portion and lets us understand in our meager understanding. We can't comprehend it. We can only comprehend what God has given us, what the Most High unfathomable God has given us. And that God is, now I'm talking about myself and from the scriptures, is El Elyon and then Yahweh. You get it? I hope so. Let me get back to this and I'll look in the chat. Okay, I'm going to read this again. Moreover, even if the text is mute about the God who presides over the divine assembly, it does maintain a place for such a God who is not Yahweh. Of course, later traditions could identify the figure of Elyon with Yahweh. Just because I say El Elyon and Yahweh, because even when you name El Elyon, now El Elyon is no longer the unfathomable God. It's just like fractals. It just, a mirror within a mirror within a mirror. When I continue, whenever I say, and that's also, you can see, I'm going to talk about quantum mechanics. You know, when you observe the particle, it collapses into a wave, or just being, that's really rough. But what I'm saying is, once you try to name the unfathomable God, the unfathomable God is no longer the unfathomable God in your conceptualization. The unfathomable God is only that when you are not looking or viewing it, just like when the same idea in quantum mechanics, and get it, in quantum physics and quantum mechanics. When you say, oh, that's God, El Elyon, now you've taken it, it's no longer the unfathomable God. Right? It is a God, it is a powerful God, El Elyon. It is a powerful God, Yahweh. But once you have taken it and observed it, when you look at it, it's not that the unmentionable or the unfathomable, the unnameable. Okay. So let me look in the chat real quick. Okay. Thank you, FS Drathio. A certain group of angels, the Most High is the CEO and owner of the universe. I like that. Yes, yes. Yes, of the universe, of multiverse, the multiverse, right? Let me see what old account says. Peace, sis. I agree with the unfathomable God. Our minds can think of everything, but can't fathom God and its origin. Absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah, Yahweh is source. Yes, I like that. I've heard God being called source before. Let's see what this brother says, though. Israel says, no one bigger than Yahweh and his program. I strongly disagree, Sister Nafa. Okay, well, that's all right. That's okay. I don't, even though people say I want an echo chamber, I definitely can respect what you say. That's why Summer jammed it. Okay, so, but you get where I'm coming from, right? I hope you do. All righty, so I think this is an interesting article. I'm going to read a little bit more of it, because it does touch on how the original text has been changed from divine gods, sons of God, and divine beings in the Masoretic text. And then the Masoretic text has been used to create all the Bible translations. So, and it also shows that, polytheism in that region was something that was common. And then with the Israelites, monolatry or monolatry, I always say, monolatry, the worship of one God only, with the understanding that there's an existence of other gods. That is what happened with Israel. Okay. The author of Psalms 82 deposes the older theology, as Israel's deity is called to assume a new role as judge of all the world. Yet at the same time, Psalms 82, like Deuteronomy 32, verse 8 through 9, preserves the outline of the older theology. It is rejecting. From the perspective of this older theology, Yahweh did not belong to the top tier of the pantheon. Instead, in early Israel, the God of Israel apparently belonged to the second tier of pantheon. He was not a presider God, but one of his sons. Accordingly, what is at work is not a loss of the second tier of a pantheon headed by Yahweh. Instead, the collapse of the first and the second tier in the early Israelite pantheon likely was caused by the identification of El, the head of this pantheon, with Yahweh, a member of the second tier. So do you see? So it went from El Elyon, that tier collapsing down into the second tier, essentially making Yahweh and El Elyon the same, like phasing out the title El Elyon and only adopting Yahweh, merging those two together. Interestingly, that happens with Christ, with Jesus, right? Yeshua, Yahushai. There are people who say, many people, Jesus is God. There's a merger of God, the Father, with the Son, and now Christ is worshiped as God, as one. So that's a collapsing of the tier in Christianity, especially in the Pauline doctrines, right? Especially when you get to all the epistles of Paul, there's a collapse from, we've got Yahweh, the Father, that top tier, and then Christ, the Son, second tier. That in Christianity, that top tier is collapsed down into just Jesus is God. And I don't have an issue with that. I don't subscribe to it in certain conversations when we talk about literature and origin and text, like I'm examining this right now. I will be able to debate with these texts in my arsenal, so to speak. However, I don't have a problem with people subscribing to Jesus is God, because I know what's going on. I know how people are. I know that God is essentially one. That is why, to my brother who said doesn't agree, that is why me saying that I know that there is a unfathomable God outside of El Elyon, top tier, second tier Yahweh, El Elyon, top tier, collapsing down into the second tier of Yahweh. Now Yahweh is the top tier. I have no problem with people saying, no, Yahweh is the only top God, because I don't, it's not that I disagree so much. My conceptualization, when I'm alone with myself in my meditation, in my prayer, in my worship, I know in my consciousness, I understand, period. I understand. So for a brother or an Israelite to say, Yahweh is the top God and there is none other, I don't look at it and go, you're blaspheme. The problem is certain people, not the brother in the chat, would attack me and say, you're a blasphemer. Yahweh is the only God and you're going against. I'm not going against, because as I said, I subscribe to the Torah, to the entire Tanakh. I subscribe to the Gospels. Do I subscribe to the doctrine? I mean, to the Pauline doctrine? I don't subscribe to it, but it is extremely useful. There's a lot of validity in it. And I definitely respect Paul and the different apostles that worked with Paul. I revere Paul. I don't worship Paul, but I revere Paul as a apostle and as a proselytizer. So I don't subscribe to it, but do I subscribe to the Gospels? 100%. If you would ask me anything about my belief, now I've just gone on a tangent about my beliefs. First and foremost comes the Gospels. That is what I completely subscribe to 100%. That is where my my system when it comes to the Bible is hinged on. That is my foundation. Then I go and support that with the Tanakh. And in the Tanakh, there's so many hidden gems that I can see, oh, here's some of the Ugarit, or here's some of the stuff about that's Kemetic. Here's some Netters, or here's some Canaanite gods. Because of what this article is talking about, how that region, that area looked at gods and divine beings. All right. So let me look in the chat, and then I'm going to try to finish this article. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to look at old account. It says, if God is unfathomable, then it's literally impossible for anyone to give actual name or anything of the unseen God. Exactly. Exactly. Not knowing means we all have to believe by definition. Well, we only know what we're allowed to know, meaning what has been given to us in our consciousness. I'm not talking about just from text and what other people wrote down. The people who wrote these ancient scripts, they had a consciousness that we're connected to. We're all connected to the consciousness. There's no timeline on consciousness. Okay, there's no time construct on, there's no construct of time on consciousness. But we have to glean what we can that's been dropped in, into this material world. And we have to take that and use our consciousness to put together our conceptualization. All right. The Bible admits there are more than one God, but there's only one Most High. Yes. I don't disagree with you on that. You're right. So, all right, let me see if I can finish this right here. I know it's a lot, but I did want to read it because it's interesting. So, the author of Psalms 82 deposes the older theology as Israel's deity is called to assume a new role as judge of all the world. Yet at the same time, Psalms 82, like Deuteronomy 32, 8, 9, preserves the outline of the older theology it is rejecting. From the perspective of this older theology, Yahweh did not belong to the top tier of the pantheon. Instead, in early Israel, the God of Israel apparently belonged to the second tier of the pantheon. He was not a presider God, but one of his sons. Accordingly, what is at work is not a loss of the second tier of a pantheon headed by Yahweh. Instead, the collapse of the first tier and the second tiers in the early Israelite pantheon likely was caused by identification of El, the head of this pantheon, with Yahweh, a member of the second tier. This development would have taken place by the 8th century, since Asherah, having been the consort of El, would have become Yahweh's consort only if these two gods were identified by this time. Indeed, it is evident from texts such as Isaiah's vision of Yahweh, surrounded by the seraphim. That's Isaiah 6. And especially the prophetic vision of the divine council seen in 1 Kings 22:19, that Yahweh assumed the position of presider by this time. Indeed, prior to the 8th century, such as a world theology suited the historical circumstances in Israel very well. See? So there's a divine council, and it's represented all through the Bible. In the world order, there were many nations, and each had its own patron god. Doesn't the scripture say don't worship those other gods of the other nations? The scripture, Torah literally says that. Do not worship the gods of other nations. This worldview was cast as the divine patrimonial. So I believe that means households. Yes, patrimonial. Okay, this worldview was cast as a divine patrimonial household in Deuteronomy 32. So the house of God. The Father leads, that one God leads that household. Okay, so real quick, because I know holy matrimony would be the mother, right? Patrimony is the father. But you didn't know that. Patrimonial describes assets, rights, or traditions inherited from ancestors or systems of power based on personal loyalties. The term has applications in law, estate management, political science. So we know that means when he allotted the lands, right? He divided them. That's why it's patrimonial. Assets, rights, boundaries, lands, peoples, nations, the inheritance, the ancestors, the fathers. Okay? Patrimonial, matrimonial. Just for shits and giggles, I want to get matrimonial up here. Isn't that interesting that when you talk about patrimonial, it's like laws, dividing the land, right? So matrimonial, which the root of that is the mother. Matrimonial is an adjective that refers to anything concerning marriage and people. Matrimonial, legal frameworks governed by marriage, divorce, prenuptial. So for me, I'm just going to put it together that the word mother, or the root word matro, that would be the mother, right? Is because the woman is being given over to the man, right? Maybe. But patrimonial is assets and lineage, things being, how do you say, bequeathed or given over, like land. Let me get back to patrimonial. This is something I didn't know. So bear with me. So patrimonial is laws and estates. Patrimonial law is the body of law governing the property, financial rights, and obligations of individuals, such as inheritance and ownership of and estate planning. That is very interesting to me, because when you go to matrimony, it talks about marriage only. Because patra would be father and matra would be mother. Anyway, I kind of went off because that's something that I just learned myself. Let me look in the chat. Maybe somebody has something to say about that. I don't know. Oh, Kasad, don't do it. You don't do it. Don't come in the chat and do little things like that, because here's the link, Kasad, because I don't think you would be able to dispute this information. They're scared of me though, family. They'll hit the link if it's Apostle or, my brother, Apostle Zaquan or King J. Hit the link, Kasad, because you know that I'm right. I'm showing facts. It is a council of gods. People worshiped a council of gods during that time. All right, so glad to see you here listening, though, in the bushes. So back to the thing that we were reading. Okay, so let me get back to this. All right, let's get back to this. The problem with you, Kasad, is you early on were listening to Yara, and he's lost as well. So you were learning a lot from him, and you can undo it by doing your research and seeing that it's a divine council. It's Elohim. And this isn't a diss. I mean, I'm just talking about information. I'm not talking about anybody. Everybody's just doing their work. They're scholars. They're learning. They're doing their research. But I guess they're skipping over this information right here, right? When you don't want to see it, you have to try to take your blinders off when you have cognitive dissonance. I know it's hard to do that when your beliefs are hinged on, like, certain things that you've been programmed to believe. But these are the facts. This development would, anyway, so I did some research on that. I just wanted to, because I wanted to get some information more on patrimonial. And I did. It's very interesting. I got to look into that too a little bit more, like as far as the Bible goes, because it makes me think about how they say, you know, the seed of the father, the inheritance of the land for the sons. All right, so where was I? This development would have taken place by the 8th century, since Asherah, having been the consort of El, would have become Yahweh's consort only if these two gods were identified by this time. And that's another thing I want to say. Kazad, you'll be over there on that other debate channel with those, all those debaters on that channel are weak. And I'm not naming the channel, except for I saw Juju over there, but I don't be seeing anybody who really is on the level of the people in the HOK. So yeah, go ahead and keep lying and stop it, Nepal. You know you won't be able to answer one question, just like the Moses thing. I answered your Moses questions. You're just say you're scared, because you would have hit the panel by now. Just say you're scared, like all the rest of you. You're scared. I'm not worried about it, because I'm doing this for people. I'm teaching. I want this out here. You will sit up here all day and all night and go back and forth with King J, Apostle, or whoever, but you will never be able to dispute this information. Stay in the chat. It's okay. I don't need you to come up here, but you were putting the hand palm to the forehead emoji. That's why I brought you up. So how am I lying, everybody? You see how he said I'm lying? How am I lying? Kazad, you're literally in the chat. You're in the chat. And you know, there's a tactic that these people do, men and women, but mostly men. You will completely answer every single thing they say. I want everybody to take note in these debate forums. When they are cut, or when you really roast them or cook them or bust their piñata and you knock their crap out of the box, they will say, "Oh, you didn't answer my question." That's the stuff that Ali was doing when I was debating him. They have nothing else to say besides, "You didn't answer my question." So remember that, everybody. If you want to be a debater, or if you're in debating right now and just getting started, remember, when you are facing a debater who cannot answer who cannot beat your information, I should say, they will say, "You didn't answer my question," when the audience clearly sees that their question has been answered and they have been debunked. So that whole "you didn't answer my question" is an old tactic. Okay? Right. Look at him in the chat, y'all. Look at him. Look at him. This is Kassad, everybody. Marcus Shaw. This is Kassad. If it were me and somebody was busting my piñata on all the stuff that I'm going around misteaching and misleading people, which is Kassad is doing. If that was me, if somebody was up here talking about Jesus is the serpent isn't the serpent in the garden, and I'm in the chat taking my time to put information, and they drop the link, tell me who's a real debater and who's on top tier. That's right. That's what I thought. Come on in here. Come on in here. Now what? What do you want to say?
What's going on?
What do you want to say?
You want me to come up? Let me know when I can speak for a second.
Speak now.
I don't want to interrupt you.
I want you to address the information, please. Address the information. What would you like to say?
Yeah. So as far as my comments, Nepal, we all comment on each other's videos. Stop it. Even when I'm live and doing my thing, you comment and disagree with me too. So it's not.
Okay.
Let's not do that.
But
so,
if you tell me to hit the panel, I'm going to hit the panel. So thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just to give you, I was watching while I'm walking my dog, just to let you know. So that's why, I'm watching daily life stuff. So for one, Nepal, you talking like you want to debate me or something. If you want to debate, you know what you gotta do is call Sa. Be scared of you. Look.
Do you remember when? Wait, hold on, because now people need to know. You do remember we were supposed to debate, and we got on the phone, and we were setting the debate up, and then all of a sudden I saw you debating King J.
Man, don't lie. Don't lie,
brother.
Don't lie.
Wait, hold on.
Don't
you
lie.
know it's wrong to bear false. You know it's wrong to bear false witness.
Don't lie.
Did you and
already
I
lied on me once.
Watch this, everybody. Let's keep it simple. Wait a minute. Let's keep it simple. Did you and I
Did you and I go on the phone with Sonetter to set up a debate?
Yep, we did.
Wait, hold on. You just called me a liar, though. See,
Now,
everybody?
you want to see where you lied at? You want to see where you lied at? You see, now, this is what you do all the time.
Here comes the magic trick.
You tell a part truth, and then you mix the rest up with lie. So did me and
So
you
we
get on the phone?
we didn't go on the phone to set up a debate.
Let me speak, Nepal. Let me speak, because you do this every time I'm on the panel. You try to overtalk me.
Oh, my God. Please talk.
Nepal, we got on the phone. What was our debate topic about on the phone? What was we talking about? We was talking about the rape doctrine. Right or wrong?
I'm getting Sonetter on the phone because you're wrong.
We were talking about the grape doctrine. Right or wrong?
No, we were going to talk about the Elohim. Let me get Sonetter on the phone.
Now you lying.
All right, we'll see. We probably,
you know what's crazy? Because you know when you debated Ryan, you know what I said? Me and you was supposed to have a debate, and you went to Ryan because you got cooked on scriptures on the phone. Stop lying.
Are you joking? Are you joking?
Are you joking? Now let's stop lying.
Nobody in the world would believe that I'm scared of you to debate. Please stop.
Energy.
This man is hilarious.
You don't want the smoke, Nepal. You didn't want the smoke.
I don't
want
to debate
thing. That's why you ran to Ryan and debated him. You don't want the smoke on the Moses thing. That's why you ain't never give me back. And we never even agreed on debating L. You lying now. So and then you said I learned from Yara.
No. We didn't agree on a debate. We didn't.
So stop lying.
Hold on.
Stop lying,
sir. Calm down. We didn't agree on a debate because it was similar to how you're acting now, and it got wild, and then we had to get off the phone. So
yeah, you
now,
lying again. You lying
hold on. Are you trying to assert or imply that I'm scared to debate you?
Do you want the smoke? Yes or no? We don't got to play around. Do you want the smoke?
I am the boo-boo. I am the smoke.
Well, then puff it up. Set it up. That's it. That's simple.
Let's do. Okay, which one would you like to get beat up on?
We can get in the Moses one. That's the one you
do. Is that? That's the safest one for you because you named rape doctrine.
Man, get the crap out of here, bro. You already ran and debated and debated already. Why am I gonna try to debate you on something you already debated with somebody else?
Exactly.
That I watched you debate.
Y'all heard him, right? So he's scared to debate that. So you're scared to debate that. What about what I'm talking about right here? You were the one. This is what's on the table. Why you want to eat some leftovers? This on the table right here.
Nepal, you cut out. Nepal, just let you know. I didn't hear nothing you said.
Okay, I said.
Repeat what you said.
Why? I said, sir, my brother. Why? I'm cut. It's you that's cutting out. It's your connection. Wherever you're walking your dog.
That's my bad then.
All right, listen. We can debate what I'm talking about right here about the Elohim being a divine council.
Are you done?
Cricket.
What's my position on the Elohim? What's my position on Elohim? Let's see if you know what you're talking about.
No, sir. I don't follow you like that. You have to let us know what your position is.
Okay. So you just said that Yahweh's merged with El. You want to debate that?
Oh, see how y'all saw that, right? That's called the two-step sidestep. You're in the chat. You're in the chat. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. I'm teaching right now. I'll debate you on anything. First off, I'll debate you on anything, but I want to point out everybody. He's scared of this.
Moses.
Brother, are we having a delay? Are we having a delay? I'm not ducking anything. I got to start with the hors d'oeuvres.
Yes or no?
Sir, I got to start with the appetizers, and then I'll get to the meal with Moses. Let's talk about what I
ain't got time to play games with you.
So you don't want to. What? Why is he up here doing this?
You didn't lie like 4 times since we didn't already start speaking.
Wait a minute, Kassan. I didn't lie about the debate. Oh my God, are you delayed right now? Because you're talking over me right now. Hold on, Kassan. You came into the chat right here, right now, and put a face palm emoji when I'm teaching this information. Do you disagree with this information?
Now, are you going to let me speak and actually pay attention to what I'm saying? I put a face in the chat, my head down, when you were talking about El and Yahweh being merged. That's where I disagree with you at. The same way how you ducked this Moses smoke, talking about what are you talking about here? There is nothing in the scripture that says Moses' mom was an Egyptian. You ducked the smoke on that. So do you want to debate yes or no? It's that simple.
I will debate you.
Hold on. You keep pushing the doctrine. You keep pushing the doctrine that Yahweh was merged. Israelites have polytheistic origin. You falsely quoting scriptures. You falsely giving breakdown of scriptures. You falsely quote these hypotheses from scholars. So do you want to debate it? Yes or no? It's that simple.
Okay.
What are we
now
calm down.
Calm down. Nobody. No, you're not. You just talked. You said a lot. Nobody falsely quoted anything. I read verbatim what scholars say. I want you to tell me right now, I'll take a debate on anything. How is that incorrect that El Elyon was the top god before Yahweh was the top god? How is that incorrect?
You want to know how that's incorrect?
Yeah, I
Because
want to know.
El
Yeah.
Elyon isn't even a deity. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's a title.
You want?
Is that
Do
what
you want to
you don't
debate?
go
Yes
with
or
that?
no? How
Wait,
you ask
no.
me something and then
It's
you
not a
don't want to
deity.
debate?
Wait. So
Do you want to
wait.
debate?
So
Tell me what.
listen,
Tell me
I
what
said
text.
I'm gonna debate you. I already said I'll
Okay.
debate you.
You asked me
So
a
stop
question. You
trying
asked
to.
me a question.
Why
Now
can't I
answer
ask
me.
you questions?
I got
Why
one
can't I ask you
question.
questions?
I got one question. What text does it says El Elyon is a god? I'll wait.
All right, in the Bible, the title El Elyon is the God of Israel before Yahweh is named. Now let's get
Did you
to
just call it
El.
a title? Did you just call it a title?
That is the God's name,
You
just like
said
Yahweh
it
is a
was a
title.
title.
Hey, sir.
It was a title.
Yeah, and guess what? And
Let's debate.
why don't you let me talk? This is wild. This is what I meant about the phone call. Yahweh is also a title. It's a name of a God. Stop. Yahweh is not the original name, meaning Yahweh is a God before it's a God of Israel. You can see the Shasu use that name. Now you're going to tell us that the title God, Yahweh, is not from the Shasu?
You done giving me your doctrine? Do you want to
No,
debate?
answer my question. Answer
Keep
my
giving me
question.
doctrine. You
Is
don't keep giving me your
Yahweh,
doctrine.
sir,
Give me a
sir.
debate. Give me a
Notice he
debate.
doesn't answer my question, y'all.
I
I'm gonna
already
ask
answered your
again.
question. I already answered
No,
it.
you didn't. Is
Go ahead.
Yahweh from the Shasu? Does it predate Israel? Is it from the Shasu?
No, we have a Yahweh inscription before the Shasu. So what are you talking about?
Oh, thank you. So is it before Israel?
No, it is Israel. What are you talking about? So do you want
Before
to debate? Now, how many more
before
questions I got to
the
answer before you agree to
Israelites,
debate?
you're misleading. You're misleading. You're
How many
misleading.
questions I gotta
So
answer
you're
to debate on?
misleading. You're misleading. The answer is look at the answer is yes, it is, y'all.
So
The title
you're gonna debunk me
Yahweh,
at debate, right?
the title Yahweh. You're not listen. First off, you're gonna address everything that I want to address. I'm not King
You're gonna
J.
debunk me in a debate, right?
I'm
I'm
not
not gonna
King
keep
J.
stuck here and argue with you.
Check it out.
Do you want
I'm
to
not
debate?
King
Yes or
J.
no?
I'm not, and I
Do
love
you
King
want
J.
to debate? Yes or no?
You don't run anything over
Do
here.
you want to
You're
debate?
going
Yes
to
or no?
debate
Like
me.
you
You're
scared
going
right
to.
now.
I already
You're
said
scared
yes.
right now.
I said yes 1,000
Just like you
times. Are you
scared with
okay?
okay, so let's set the title.
Hey.
Is El and
Why are
Yahweh
you
merged?
Why are you always so hyper? Like
No, because I'm
why?
not gonna
Why?
keep sitting up here playing with you, man.
You didn't. You
You
didn't
want to
hit. You hit the
play?
panel. Hey, you hit the panel. You didn't say a damn thing. You didn't answer one question.
I literally answered
Are the
every question you just asked me.
Elohim? Let me ask a question then. Are the Elohim a council of
You've been
divine
getting.
beings? Are the Elohim a council of divine beings?
Elohim can refer to different gods, yes.
So you're saying that it's different gods, a group of gods, correct?
Never this.
Damn your connection.
I'm going back in the house right
So
now. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going back in the house right now.
yes, that'll be much better because I don't know if you have a delay or what. So, family, as you see, I was in here teaching about the sons of God, the council, which he agrees that it's a council of God. What he's saying, I think,
Do you
is
hear me
that the
better?
Elohim. Yeah, I hear you a little better. So I was
All right.
about to say what you're saying. So good. So the Elohim, according to what I'm teaching right now, is a council of gods, correct?
No, not in every instance. No.
Now it's not. Okay, you're gonna have to get situated because so it's
Dude,
not a
did you
council
just
of
hear what
God.
you said? You said the Elohim. I said not in every instance, Elohim is referring to a council. I said Elohim can refer to multiple gods. Never denied that. The Bible even tells you don't worship other gods. You keep want to reference the Bible and then mix history and mix biblical scriptures. So once
Okay.
again, Do you hold on?
No,
I'm
no,
not
you're
done.
not
I'm
gonna
almost
do
finishing my
that. No,
statement.
you hold
I'm
on.
finishing my statement.
You just lied on me
I am
though.
finishing my statement. You're not gonna keep on
Oh,
sitting up here talking about I lied. You ain't lied. You lied the whole time that I've been listening to
show.
you.
Oh my
I learned,
God. Say what you
yeah,
need to
I
say,
lied. So I
please.
learned from Yara. You
Please
bearing false witness.
say what you need to
I
say,
learned from
please.
Yara. You bearing false witness.
Please, please, please say what you need to
We was
say.
supposed to debate L. You bearing false witness. Me and you was supposed to debate the rape doctrine. That's what you and Sai called me on.
Okay, whatever,
So no,
whatever.
no, ain't no
You
whatever.
said
Now
we
you
weren't.
getting caught out on your lies. Now you don't
You're
want to address it.
lying. You're
Now you don't want to
listen.
address it. Ain't no pod.
You
Just
were
set the
in the
debate up.
brother.
Just
What are
set the
you
debate up.
doing? Why are you talking about all kinds of other stuff? Getting away from this. The more you talk, I
Napad, you
still can
not
go
finna
back to the
keep on
point.
just talking over me like I'm not saying something to you. And you're not
How am
finna
I
keep doing
talking?
that. I'm talking. I literally said I'm finna finish my statement and you start talking over me. Do you wonder why I'm getting frustrated? I'm not finna keep going back and forth with you. I asked you your question.
Say what you need to say.
You
No, I'm
obviously
gonna get
don't
back
know
to
nothing
what I
about the
was saying.
Bible.
All right.
You obviously
Mm-hmm.
don't know nothing about the Bible. So do you want to debate me on the origin of whatever you want to call it, Yahweh and polytheism, Yahweh and El? Because all you keep doing is you keep trying to merge Ugaritic text, Ugaritic culture, and other Canaanite cultures with Israelite culture. And I'm telling you that's wrong and that's false. So let's do it. That's simple. The whatever council you want to try to make the Bible council to be is not the same thing in Ugaritic. Let's set it up. El and any other kind of definition you try to connect to Ugaritic does not work in the Bible. Let's set it up. You keep sitting up here playing and you know my position. I don't believe nothing about no El and Yahweh merge, none of that stuff. I don't believe none about no Ugaritic council is the same council in the Bible. So you asking me these questions, you already know my answer. The answer is hell no. So once again, do you want to debate me? Yes or no? It's that simple. If yes, call silence, set the topic, and set it up. I'm not gonna keep sitting up here playing with you and talking over you when you're talking over me. We do this shit too often, the pod, and then you duck. Then I gotta babysit you. So let's do this shit. Let's stop playing.
Are you done? Are you finished? I need to know. Now you're quiet? That's weird. Okay. I guess you're going to just talk when I talk. As you see, he came in here talking crazy, wild as ever, as usual. Nobody's afraid to debate Kassad. Kassad came in while I'm teaching that the Elohim, the sons of God, are a council of many gods. And he put a face palm emoji in the chat. I said, come up here and dispute this information. He got up here and fair enough, he said he doesn't like that I mentioned, I didn't even mention it. I read from the article that there was a collapsing of El Elyon into Yahweh in the tier, in the pantheon, in the tier. He jumped up here talking about, you're scared to debate me. You're scared to debate me. I asked him, are you disputing the information that I'm teaching? See, I have to clear it all up, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I have to clear it up. He was all over the place. I said, are you disputing that the Elohim is a council of many gods? He says, sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Then he goes straight back into, you're scared to debate me that El Elyon is not the God of Israel or whatever he's saying. Nobody's scared to debate you on that. But I'm going to have you debate me this information as well. You get it? You ain't getting in here in your little safety net that you've been rubbing elbows with Yara and learning how to finagle your way through and lie about the Ugarit. You're going to also debate me that Genesis chapter 1 through 3, is that a council of gods? And I will definitely add in the information about the Ugaritic text. But is that a council of gods in Genesis chapter 1? Or is it the Most High God? You see how I did that, family? Very surgical, very clean, sterile environment. We're not out in the wilderness breaking off sticks and trying to make a splint in a broken leg. I'm in the hospital right now. Now, do you want to debate me what I teach? And I will also drag you and show you that, of course, El came from the Ugaritic. It is not originally Israelite. Of course it isn't. That's baby food. That's baby food. Do you want to debate me that the council in the garden is a council of spirits, divine beings, and not the Most High. And I'll do your debate as well. Let's see if he answers. You can have the mic back.
All right, man. So let me know when you're done running and you want to stand on what you teach. You said Deuteronomy 32 is supposed to be in reference to some deities and the council of deities. That's on the table. You don't want the smoke on it. Because guess what? That is not in reference to other gods. And notice, I like how you keep missing and mix matching my answer. You asked me, is Elohim in reference to a council of gods? I literally said Elohim can be in reference to multiple deities. Notice how you try to add the council thing. I never even said council. I said Elohim can be in reference to multiple deities, and the Israelites are instructed to not follow any other deity outside of Yahweh. They are not to follow or interact with the Canaanites or their gods. So once again, you want to mix biblical history, you want to mix Israelite history, and all you have to do is set the debate up. I'm not finna keep playing with you, Nepal. You want to ask me something? You want? Hold on. Let me finish.
I want to ask you some questions. I don't want you to go back on another diatribe.
Here go the interruption.
Yeah, because
again.
you're going off too far.
Again. Here go the interruption.
I know, but
again,
you're
but
going.
you did not
Do you
answer
want
my
to
question,
answer the question?
Nepal, you didn't even answer my question. You answered my question, Nepal. What was my question to you?
You said a lot.
Nepal, I asked you very specifically.
Ask it again, and then I'm going to get back to the information.
What text is El Elyon a deity in? In another, that's talking. Hold on, that is so you can understand.
In the Israelite
I'm
text.
trying to help you understand what I'm asking you, so that you can understand. You're talking about El Elyon was this top tier, and El was a top tier deity. Yahweh was a second tier deity, and all that. Show me, first of all, you need to show me a text where Yahweh was mentioned anywhere with any of these deities in these Canaanite pantheons. You can't do it. And second, I need a text that says El Elyon is a god. And it's the supreme deity over a pantheon. We need a primary text. Stop playing.
Got you. Well, let me answer you. Psalms. Okay,
Incorrect.
There's your answer.
Incorrect.
Okay, now stop. Stop right there. I answered your question. Now let me do this. Let me ask you a question. Watch this, everybody. I answered you, whether you like it or not. Sir, I'd like to talk.
Stop lying. I need you to actually give me an answer.
I did answer your question. Why are you so wild? Why are you so wild? Can I speak?
You did not answer my question.
Why are you talking over?
An answer to my question.
Brother, why are you like this? Why don't you let me finish talking? Now I want to.
My question.
I already know why, y'all, because he's scared shitless. Now you answer my question.
You just didn't answer mine. What are you talking about?
I said Psalms.
That's not an answer. That's not an answer. I told you, give me a primary text. What is the primary text?
Then we have to go to the Ugarit. Okay. Now there's another answer.
Text.
No. Stop.
You can't. You're not. You see how you play? You cannot answer my question.
You know what's sad? You know what's sad? You know what's sad with you?
Exactly.
You are so scared.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
Guess what? You got it. Point for you. Now my turn. Can you tell me you're scared. In Genesis chapter 1-3, is that a council of divine beings or is it one God?
That's the Most High instructing.
So it's one God, right?
Did you not just hear me? That's the Most High instructing.
I asked you, is it a council of divine beings or is it one God?
I just answered your question. That's the Most High instructing.
So he's saying it's one God. So you're saying it's one God. So you're saying it's the Most High one God.
You see how when I answered your question directly,
no,
Most High instructing.
No, I like to walk.
Text and you did not.
I like to lock you in. I don't need you to. Look, I'll get you the text in the debate. I'll get you the text in the debate. I'll get you the text in the debate.
You could not name me.
No. I'll get you the text in the debate. I did give you. You said you need an original.
Any other question you got to ask me, you can get in the debate then. That's
what? Okay. Then this is our premise. This is my premise. The council. Elohim is a council of divine beings. It is not one Most High God. Your position is that it's one Most High God. I am going to drag you where you need to be in a debate, and I will also show you that council. Hey, let me finish. And I will also show you that council is referred to in the Bible in Psalms and other places where they are the Elohim, and I will refer back to the Ugaritic text and assert that they are referring to a pantheon of God. Now, bomb drop, let's get it. Point blank, period.
I'm glad you think you couldn't answer a simple question. So notice, I answered her question directly, and then when I asked her for the actual answer to my question, she said, "Oh, you'll get in a debate. Who's running? Who can't answer a simple question?
How am
Who
I
really
running?
studied?
I
No,
said it.
no,
I
stop,
said
stop, stop.
yes.
Who can't
How am I
answer a
running?
simple question? Who hasn't really studied these texts? Because guess what? When I pull up
Mm-hmm.
these scholars that smoke your head, I don't want you to keep on running your mouth and then doing it and calling Sal like how you normally do. I want you to
Right.
stand and hear it.
You
I
know
want you to
what?
stand here
Nobody
and
calls
answer.
Sonetter.
I want
You
you to
know what
stand
you
here
are?
and answer the
Okay,
same way you
so
just couldn't
so
answer.
let's get the
The
debate.
same way
Let's
you
get the
just couldn't.
debate.
The same way you just couldn't answer what text says this in Ugarit. That's the same way it's
You
gonna be in a debate when
crazy.
you can't answer
I
a single
told
verse
you.
or a single question or a single anything. So Napa, with all due respect, hey, I
You
love
just you
fire. I
think you
love the
did
hold
so,
on.
bro. You
I'm finna
did something. You did. No, we will
with
debate the
yeah. We're
Elohim
gonna debate. Let's see
Council
if
of God,
we actually debate. Let's see
and
if we
if
actually debate
LL Yon
if
is.
it don't get set
Oh
up.
my fucking
Let's see
God,
if
I
we
can never
actually debate.
talk.
I'm not finna keep going back
Hey,
and
let
forth
me
with you.
block it. No,
I'm
you're
not
not
finna keep
going
going
back
back
and
and forth.
forth. I'm clarifying so you don't run later.
How you
We're
clarifying when
go,
I'm talking though? How you
we're
clarifying
going
when I'm talking?
cause I'm trying to
No,
talk. You
but I'm
you
already
are going to
talking.
debate.
But
Let me
I'm
get rid of
already
this
talking.
guy.
Make that make sense,
Yeah,
Napai. I'm
yes, it's
literally
time for
talking.
me
You
to
trying to
close
talk
out
over?
and get back to teaching.
And
Listen,
you're
we're
trying to
going
talk
to,
over me. So you can have a
brother,
panel. I know. I think you couldn't
what the
answer a
fuck is
question.
wrong with
I'm gonna let
you?
you have a panel. Peace and
Let me have a
blessings.
panel. What?
Much
What are we
love.
debating? Watch
Let's
this.
see
What
if
are we
we get this
debating?
debate.
What are
Let's
we
see if we get the
debating?
debate or if you gonna run.
What are
Is
we
that simple?
debating? Watch
Let's
this.
see if we
What are
gonna
we
get the
debating?
debate or you gonna run. Is that simple?
Are
Call,
you,
you know, I
are
got
you,
my
am I,
number. Call me after and we
no,
gonna
I
I'm gonna
don't need,
smoke you.
Saab doesn't need your
Thank you.
number. I need to do this in front of the people because you be faking the funk. Are we debating? Look, he ran, y'all. This was wildness. This was a wild, and I had to block that guy talking about you're talking to a woman, sir. No, this is what these men do. This dude in the chat talking about you're talking to a woman. Clearly, Kassad was out of control, but that's okay. He can't do that in a formal debate. Oh no, I didn't. Now she has all the right to mute. No, I didn't want to do all that because he likes to lie and say, I'm over here teaching. You get the answer in the debate. What the frick? What are you talking about? Look at him. He ran back to the chat, y'all. Oh my God. I appreciate you being in the chat, to be honest, because goddamn, I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. Edgewise. He wants to debate. It's sad. It's almost sad to me. I've been watching you, Kassad. He wants to debate that L is just a title and never was a god. When L is a title and a god. It's so easy. It's easy. I just did it right there. And I can prove that. But in my debate, see, what you're going to do is you're going to prove that the Elohim, you're going to have to try to prove that the Elohim is just one God. Damn. Whew. I know, right? Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. Let me take a drink of some freaking chamomile tea. Hold on, y'all. All right, Kasab. So you keep lying on my position. That's how didn't I tell y'all why I didn't want to? Do you guys see? Does everybody see why I said I need to do it in public? I'm going to have to, he's talking about Saw saving you. Saw never's not saving me from anything. And I'm going to have to do a panel with Kassad to discover what the, yeah, thank you, twins, what the debate will be, because he's already saying I'm lying. That's why I said we need to do it in front of the people. And notice he said I was lying when I said we got on the phone to try to get a debate, and it went just like you saw how it is now. It went kind of similar to that. Like, it was like, no. Let me make a phone call real quick, y'all. I was teaching on this, and he says that it's not. So I got my, y'all know I love to bust piñatas, especially ones like Kassad. And it's all love. It's not about him personally, but him with his information, he's wild. L is a title from an unseen. Yes, L is a title of a god, and it is a god in the pantheon. But he's been amassing information for the past year since he started on this. I'm the one that actually sparked him to start going around saying that El is just a title, because I talked about, which I don't, it's not a lie. And if you get up here, you're not going to just take over. So you're going to answer some questions. What's up?
All right, Milo, I'm not going to take over. You let me know when I can actually speak. Uninterrupted. Go ahead.
All right. This is what we're going to do. Thank you. I'm teaching right now, which I've been teaching, that Jesus is a serpent in the garden and that there is an Elohim council of divine beings, that it's not the Most High. You say it is the Most High. We can debate that. Along with that, because you're saying I'm scared for some reason, I can show that the Elohim that I'm referring to is 100% a council of gods in that region. Get it? A pantheon of gods. And I will show in the Ugaritic text that those gods that are in the council are also, I can correlate them to the gods that the Most High is talking about, the sons of God. I can do that. Your turn.
Yeah, I really only got up here because you keep misrepresenting my position, and it's very clear. You said, "Oh, I want to argue that El was never a deity." When I've never even said that. Actually, I debated this topic 3 different times. In every one of my debates, I never said that El wasn't ever a deity. Why do y'all keep misrepresenting my stance purposefully? I keep telling you, my disagreement with you is on the Israelite culture, the history, the Israelite religion. I disagree with you on El in the Israelite religion. Why do you keep on trying to make it broad and say every culture, every group of people? Like what? Like why do you? How are you that misrepresent? Like what are you listening to? I keep
Did you
telling
just
you,
say that
El
El
in
is
the
just a
Bible,
title?
El in the like how are you missing in the Bible? How are you missing with the Israelites? How are you missing that statement? El in the Bible, El with the Israelites is not in reference to the Canaanite god El. I keep stating that, I keep saying that, and you keep misrepresenting me. It's very real. It's very weird. So it's kind of like you want to argue a straw man. You wanted to punch on something over here when I'm standing over here. Like that's not even what I said. So it's kind of weird. So I really jump back up to like to clear something up.
So you're saying that
This
the Israelites never worshipped El. That's what you're saying.
hold on.
I'm just clearing it up. You said I don't want to
Hold
misunderstand
on.
you.
Hold on. I know, but I would like to finish before you get
Go ahead.
clarification.
But I want to make
Right.
sure I get all the points.
So you keep saying I disagree with you. I don't even think you know where I disagree with you at. I told you, you mentioned Deuteronomy 32. That's supposed to be talking about the council of gods, and El is supposed to be merged with Yahweh. I disagree with that.
Stop right
That's
there.
why
Stop.
Why are you
No.
stopping me? Why are
Because
you
I
stopping
don't.
me?
You're saying that it's a
Why are
council
you
of
stopping
God
me? I'm speaking though.
because no, but
Napai,
you
you
can.
don't have to
You're
stop
saying a
me
lot of stuff.
every time I say
Do you
something. You
want
don't
to
have to
address
stop me.
point by point?
Napai, I don't get to address you point by point. I have to to listen and wait for you to finish your
Oh,
whole
you just
statement.
want to say a bunch of stuff and
So
leave.
if I
Okay, go
can't
ahead.
finish my whole statement, why do I gotta let you finish your whole statement? Make sense,
No.
Napai.
If you want to just still be misunderstood, go ahead and say everything all at once. Go ahead.
It's cool. Yeah, I don't want to keep going back and forth with you, Napai.
I mean, because
No, it's
you
cool.
just
It's cool.
said
I
that
don't
I
want to.
don't.
I don't want to keep
What
going
do
back
you
and forth.
believe?
You
What do
you
you
already think
believe
I'm just here
about
to argue with you.
L? Oh my God, this man. What do you believe
This man,
about
but I'm
L?
literally talking and you're talking over me.
What do you believe? No, I'm not talking over you. I want to clarify. What
But
do
if I'm
you
telling you that
teach
to please
about
wait,
L?
that's called talking over me. Whether or not you want
No.
to admit that you're talking over me, that's called
Oh.
talking over me.
What do you teach about L, Kassad?
Oh my God. Napa, okay. I'm gonna give you this topic and you can set it up. Because I asked you a question, you told me I'm gonna get the answer in the debate. But I gotta keep answering every single question, and you're not answering one question. Make sense, Napa. I asked you for a text, you told me I'm gonna get it in the debate, but you want me to keep answering questions. I'm not
No.
finna play that
I
game
want to
with
know
you.
your
I'm not
position.
finna play that game.
What
I
is
already
your
gave you my position.
How are we
If
going to
you
debate if I don't know your position? You said I'm misrepresenting you. What is your
Napa, and every
position
time
then?
I'm telling you my position, you start interrupting again. El in the Bible was not in
Oh my
reference to a
God.
Canaanite God. El in the Bible was not in reference to a whole separate a deity that you want to connect with. You agree, whatever other culture you want to connect it to. That is you're trying to merge two different cultures, two different texts that are contemporary with each other. They're at the same time of each other. And some of these texts are even older than the ones that you read. Like, we got to stop sitting here playing, man. So you want my position, you want my debate. I'm saying that you're lying on the Israelite religion. I'm saying you lying on the Israelite history when it comes to El and all this council nonsense and the merging and all this stuff. And you pulled up certain verses that I personally disagree with, such as Deuteronomy 32. Notice that you're not mentioning the council of God is supposed to be in Deuteronomy 32, which is what I keep on mentioning that you're wrong about. You want to go and jump to something else. You want to jump to Genesis, and I'm talking about Deuteronomy 32, what you quoted. So once again,
so wait.
So
when
once
you
again,
already know, sir, Deuteronomy 32 is what?
So you don't know what Deuteronomy 32 and 8 and
no,
9.
from
You don't
your
know what that is
position.
now.
I'm talking about
You don't know what that is now.
What the hell? I'm teaching on it right now. The sons of God.
Okay, and I disagree with your teaching, so let's set the debate up. It's that simple, man.
Oh my
I'm not finna keep answering okay, I'll answer your question right after this. Can you give me the text in where El Elyon is the supreme deity? And you agree, like you said.
You keep on saying that. You
Can
want
you
me to
give
go
me
and
the
get
text? You see how
technical?
every time you
Listen.
ask me a
Oh
question,
my
you
God!
don't want to answer a single question? Answer me a question. Exactly. You
Why are
scared,
you
bro.
doing
You
this?
that
No,
scared.
I can't even talk. You really are not even letting me speak. You want to get me to get technical, specific information for you, but you're not letting me know clearly what you want. Like, do you want to, you said you want to debate with me that Elohim in Deuteronomy 32, which I'm teaching on now, the sons of God, you want to debate me that is not a council of gods, of divine beings, right?
You done?
No, I want to
That's
know.
a yes or no question, sir.
DJ Genesis,
Thank you.
please do not jump into my conversation right now. I asked her a simple question and she told me I had to wait until the debate to get an answer. So I'm asking her, is
I
she
already
done?
gave you the answer,
No,
though.
you did not. What's the answer?
I said it's in Psalms and it's in Ugaritic text.
No, give me
When
the
you asked me
text.
about
Name the
Elohim,
primary
you
text. You're
said,
lying on Psalms. Now give
everybody
me the
scroll
Ugaritic
back.
primary text.
Everybody scroll back. He asked me, can you
Give me
show
the
me?
primary text.
Sir. You said,
Exactly.
can you?
Can't
No,
answer.
not exactly. We'll debate it. I'll give it to you in the day. You said,
So
sir.
you'll get any other
Why
question you want to
are
ask me
you
in the
so
debate.
fucking, oh my
Any other
God.
question you want is in the debate. It's that simple. The
Okay,
same way you just gave it to
so
me.
what are we debating? All right, fine. What are we debating? Go ahead. I want to know the exact things that we're debating.
The whole polytheism that you keep trying to push on Israel. That right there.
See right there.
The
That's
polytheism
so
you keep trying to push on
that's
Israel.
ambiguous. That's ambiguous. What are
Oh
we
my, that's
actually
ambiguous.
debating?
That's
Yeah,
ambiguous. You keep
I'm
saying
going
that
to.
they merging gods and stuff. You keep saying that
No.
this divine
I
council and
didn't.
stuff is
First
supposed to
off,
be
stop.
connected.
You keep on lying, sir.
You didn't say
Calm
that.
down.
You didn't
Calm
say that.
down.
All right, bro.
Will you be
Whatever. I
quiet
see
and
you scared.
listen? Will you
I
be
see you
quiet and
scared.
listen? Will you be
I see
quiet
you
and
scared.
listen?
Go ahead.
No,
I see
what
you
if I'm
scared.
scared? Why do you keep on saying that silliness? I'm scared. Listen,
Yeah, you ducking. I ain't got time for this.
why are
Call
you
stop.
not letting me talk? It's so
I ain't got time
wild.
for that shit.
Take a deep breath. Listen, you came in when I was reading from this. Did he leave? Did he leave? Let me see.
Yeah, he left.
This shit is weird how he is. First off,
Who is that?
everybody, that's Kassad. He's wild.
Why is he so angry?
Exactly. And he came in, the sons of God. I'm teaching that the sons of God are the Elohim, a council of many gods. He came into, now I got to wait till the debate, but she'd get an answer. What you're asking me to give you the actual verse and go to find, to look up the Ugaritic text and show you. I don't need to do all that right now. Look at this shit right here. It's weird. Napad does no wrong.
Why is it that
What
when
the
people
fuck is wrong?
argue?
No, really, what the fuck is wrong with these men? Napad can do no wrong. You don't even have a title to do. And I'm actually being, I'm actually being pretty cordial with him. Like, what the fuck just happened? And a weirdo that hates me, like these weirdo trolls would be like, yeah, that's how she is. But he said he wants to debate and he doesn't even want to pick an actual title. Anyway, what's up, Genesis?
That I just came in. I don't know what the context was. I just heard the aggressiveness, and I'm like,
I'm
And I
sorry,
heard
twin.
that when you're trying to talk, like he's talking at the same time you're talking, like what's happening? Like why can't people just allow each other to talk? Like so I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't even know what you guys were really arguing about. I heard something about Elohim and
Yeah.
whatever. And it was like
We couldn't
you guys
really
were
get it.
we were talking at the same time. I don't understand what's going on. Like set the
He
debate
wants me
on
to sit there
what
and
is the
just
debate
go.
going to be on? Okay, so set the debate on what? What's the exact title of the debate? Is
Just
it
crazy, bro.
Elohim a part of one or multiple or
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was listening to me read. He got hurt. It triggered him because in this article that I was reading, it said that the pantheons of the Canaanite gods, it talked about the collapsing of tiers. It was making an example like top, when I say tier, T-I-E-R, like hierarchy. And it said right here, I'm going to read it, where he got upset, like, which is true. So that's why I said he's lying. He said, I said it. I was reading the article and agreeing with this author. Mark Smith, in his book, The Origins of Biblical Monotheism, works to illustrate the Semitic people of times that the Old Testament books were written, believed in a pantheon of gods. That bothers him, that everybody knows that. He wants it to be like, oh, just the Israelites believed in one God. They believed in multiple gods, but they worshiped only one God. But let me keep reading. It says, in this pantheon, El and his consort Asherah occupied the first tier, the top tier, commanding or governing multitude of gods in a hierarchy of 4 tiers of divine beings. The second tier was inhabited by the children of El and his consort and were called the sons of God. A third tier comprised of craftsmen or artisan deities is found underneath the subservient to the sons of God, but poorly represented in Ugaritic text and not well attested in Hebrew Bible. Smith cites Kothar Wahasis as an example of the third level deities in the Ugaritic pantheon. Kothar is a maker of gadgets and weapons for Baal, kind of like the character Alfred does with Batman. The fourth tier of the divine beings act as messengers for gods, servants of the gods who occupy the first tier. So the messengers for the gods are the angels. And I'm using this information to give a broader look at why I'm saying the Elohim are a council of gods, right? He came in the chat with a face palm and was like, saying that the information that I'm presenting is incorrect when it's not, because I'm showing.
So what was his stance? What was his stance? Like
his stance is that the Elohim in the Elohim in Genesis chapter 1-3 is not a council of divine beings, that it is one most high God. And he goes around misleading people, saying that the Israelites never worshipped the God of Canaan, El, that they never worshiped that God.
So
but
why
they
do
did
all
worship
the
that
Hebrew Israelites will call themselves such and such El?
Exactly.
If they don't worship that as God, then why do they call themselves such and such El? Blah 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 El. I mean, there's so many like Hebrew Israelites that will put that as their last name. What is the purpose of that? So why is there even El involved like that if that's not something that's revered and worshipped?
Right. He'll say, this is what he'll say, because he learned this from Yara. And I don't give a damn if people say don't say Yara's name. I'm going to say it because Yara's a teacher and he learned it from Yara, because Yara's very misleading as well. And not just Yara, but Yara is one of the main people. Because this is what he says, Genesis, that they don't worship that God El. They just took the title El and they use it to represent like a title that means God. Like how we say God, and the word God comes from, I think it's like, it has a Norse origin, but we say God and we don't worship the God of the Norse. We don't worship the God Norse, the Norse God, get it? Like we don't worship Odin and all them. But the word God came from their pantheon, so to speak, and now we use it and we say God. But we're talking about a God of Israel. Get it?
But
So
is in Semitic, isn't El doesn't it exactly translate to God or deity or the mighty one? Isn't the word El actual? I
yeah,
mean,
it
if we
means
come in English, we can say it's a title of like the supreme one, but in like Semitic, it's God, deity, mighty one, right? Supreme
God.
deity,
It means
right?
mighty one. It means a governor, judge, mighty one. Yeah, El. It means
Right.
God.
So what does El Shaddai mean?
The God of the
God
Most High
Almighty.
God.
God
God
Almighty.
Almighty. Yeah, the Most High
L
God
E L E L E L Elyon. God the
means
Most
Most
High.
High.
Right. So
Yeah.
so why would they then be arguing whether or not L is what is the argument here? What is he saying?
He's saying he wants to make it like look, shit. I'm trying to get what he's saying in pieces. I feel like I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the Ugaritic. I mean, with the Septuagint and the Masoretic text. And now I'm trying to figure out what Kasad is saying. So let me take a shot at it. Kasad is saying that the Israelites never worshipped any of the gods of that pantheon. They never worshipped El. They never worshipped Asherah. They never worshipped any of those gods. That's what he's saying, which is a lie.
So the Israelites never worship El.
Yeah, he's saying that they once they became a once they started practicing monolatry, because they don't practice monotheism, but they say they do, but they don't. Once they started practicing monolatry, meaning acknowledging and worshiping one God, but knowing that there are other gods, once they started doing that, they never thought of El as the God of Canaan. But we already know that part. But I'm going to assert that they were worshiping those other gods. If he wants to get the smoke, I want to bust his head open right now. Not literally, but I'm talking about it scholastically. Because he has a smart ass mouth. I like one thing I don't mind. I don't even care if he's saying I'm lying. When he starts saying Sonetter's protecting me and this is what, nobody protects me at all. He protects you. He doesn't want me to hurt your feelings and beat you up on information. You saw what happened to Ryan's lousy ass. I beat him so bad in that debate. He disappeared and cried and said that I tricked him. I gave him my premise. And my premise is this, Kasad. The Elohim is a council of God, of divine beings, and they are the sons of the Most High God. And they are present in Genesis chapter 1 and 3, specifically. They're present throughout the Bible, but specifically in that text. And I will show you, since you want to play, that the sons of God are originally in the Ugaritic text. You don't want this smoke. See how clear I am, Genesis?
Mm-hmm.
He's all over the place.
Well, I think that the conversation could still be had without like him like just getting so like beefy with you. Like just chill out, bro.
He can't. And look, I don't even look. He's not a bad person. I have no problem with the brother as if he once the cameras are off, he's cool. But all this crap about you're scared of what? Hit the panel and see if you want to do that debate. Let me say it again. I will debate you that because he said it's just one God in the garden, y'all. I will debate you which is what I teach. Is that the Elohim are a council of divine beings. They are not just one God, and they definitely are not just one Most High. And that those gods, the sons of God, which I will say are the Elohim, can be found originally in the Ugaritic text. Mic drop. Now let's see if he comes in here. You could have the link. Come back in here. See if I was clear on that, right? Genesis, that's what I want to debate.
Yeah. So
all right.
Are you willing to do that debate, Marcus? Like we don't have to it don't have to be like that deep. So Ben Eden, I'm not finna keep playing with her. She can play with someone else. She set the debate up. Okay, so what is the title of the debate? You have to come back up here and make the title. Marcus, chill. It's all good. Just relax.
He wants me to go. He wants me to go grab a bunch. See, he thinks I'm Marcus. I've been debating when you were in fucking high school, bro. Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna go get shit for you. I'll get it in the debate. And like I said, I love King J. And the reason I said King J is because you be bullying him around, telling him to go get it. I'm not getting a damn thing. I'm up here doing a lesson, and you can't even address it. I'm doing a lesson, Genesis. Notice this, everybody. Like I said, I'm a seasoned debater. He doesn't want to address what I'm actually teaching with the information right here. He wants me to go pull up some stuff that he already you know how you do a rap battle, Genesis, and you pretend you freestyling, but you done memorize the rap. You know?
Right.
Like, and then the pancakes jumping out the skillet today. I know nobody's gonna be okay. All right, I'm gonna go up in there. I'm gonna pretend that I knew that. Nigga, if you don't get your ass in here and address this fresh, address what's on the table right here. I'm not gonna go and get shit that you already queued up. And no, I know what's going on.
He want to hit the
yeah, and that's when then I'm gonna act like I said, have you ever went over a friend's house? Oh, that's fresh. No, that's not fresh. You rehearsed that shit. I'm not grabbing anything that you rehearsed, boy. Get in here and address this freestyle. Address this freestyle. Can't. Can't, as the Haitians say, the Haitian mother and the aunties. Can't. You can't address it because you're the one who's scared. Get up in here and show us that the Elohim are not a council. You heard it say they're not a council of God, right, y'all? Let's see. Come on in here. You won't. Come in here.
See, that's the thing with men and like their whole like, don't interrupt me. I'm talking, so you gotta like be quiet when they speak so that they don't lose their thought. See, what happens is that a lot of men are ADHD. So when you talk over them, they lose their place in their mind. And so if you ask a question in the middle of what they're saying, they lose their space because a lot of people are ADHD. And then the moment that you ask, if you say anything in between what they're saying, it drives them crazy because now they lost their space in mind. That's what it is.
Right. And not all men, the brother made it clear. He said right here, because I said boy. Now I'm a boy, but if I go at her, it's a problem. Call me a girl. You want to come in and call me all kinds of hoes and bitches? See, that's the problem with certain men like you. If I call you a boy, come in here and call me a girl. You don't want to do that, huh? Okay.
Well, I just want to come here and show some support. I know what's going on.
Thank you. But and I'm not calling him boy anymore. I said boy because he's getting on my nerves. But all right. You want me to call you sir and gentleman? You're not acting like one. You're acting wild. So let's get the debate. I'm not calling you out of your name. All right, fine. You don't want to be called boy. Get over that. Stop trying to find little shit. This is wild. I was doing a great lesson and he came in here. Yeah, call me Napa. All right, Kassad. Listen, Kassad, we're going to debate. Thank you, Genesis, for coming in. I appreciate you hitting the panel and bringing some mediation somewhat. Listen, we're going to debate. I'm going to get back to reading this information. But I don't know. Essential vitamins? I don't know. I do not know. All I know is he is not addressing the lesson that I'm doing. He did say that it's only one God. So, okay. Let me get back to this. I already finished that article, so I'm going to stop sharing. And let's get to the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, this is the translated version. Of course, it's going to be in English, but it's going to show you can find someone else to play. What the fuck? I'm doing the lesson. I don't see your name anywhere in this title. Does anybody see his name in this title? The sons of God prove there is. I said the sons of God prove that there is a council of many gods, aka Elohim. This is let me read what the brother Rakib L said. Boys lose control and get uppity and argue with the female and try to be dominant. Be a man, hold it together. Don't need to ramble with such emotions. Thank you. I mean, I wasn't even trying to call him a boy. I just said, boy, like, boy, please. And like, you know, like there's a little skit where you see Soldier Boy said, boy, if you don't sit your little, like I wasn't calling him a boy, like, hey, boy. I'm not massa. I'm actually just, sorry, you're not a boy. I retract that. However, what you're doing though is you're ducking. You're ducking. You're lying on the verse of Deuteronomy 32. I directly challenge you on polytheistic origin. Okay, yeah, that's what we'll debate. Let me see what Arius, peace, Arius Sims.
Hello, peace. It's nice to talk to you again. Fire show. You are. I think you're correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. From my
I
studies,
appreciate you.
from what I've been studying, like, I've been studying like the Hebrew, and I've been studying like the Ethiopic text and the Enochian text, like for second and third Enoch, and even the when you read like some of the New Age, like the Kabbalah and the Zohar. I think you're on point. I think
Thank
you're
you.
on point.
And I appreciate you. This is a brother. I don't tell this brother what to say. I mean, he's doing his research. And it's crazy how the brother came in here saying I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm literally showing
Yeah.
the Septuagint versus the
Yeah.
Masoretic text and the Dead Sea Scroll. Like, how am I
Yeah.
lying?
Yeah,
Like, it's weird.
you're going to the like primary sources.
Yeah,
And
thank you, my
yeah.
friend.
That's why I said
And I'm gonna
I think
go ahead.
you're the best Israelite teacher, period.
Wow,
That we
thank
got on
you. I love that.
HOK.
Wow, thank you. I really appreciate you on
Yeah,
that.
because you
Let me
and
tell
I think
you.
you know you read the Hebrew.
Well, I don't read the Hebrew like no. I'll tell you
Oh, you
the
don't?
truth. I don't read the Hebrew yet. I do need to start
Yeah.
studying. I want to
Do
study
you
under
study
Hebrew
have you
teachers.
been studying with I like one of the guys I like is Zion Lex. I'll be
I was
like
about
watching
to
his.
say, you know how many times my brother Zion over the years, God, I just kicked myself. He's like, yeah, come in my class. I have to start
Yeah.
learning the Hebrew
Yeah.
to
I
to
think
read it. Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think Divine Prospect and Zion Lex are probably the top Hebrew teachers
Yeah, they
in this
do. They do
community.
very well. Now I
Yeah.
can read the somewhat if you say read like the which people say oh it's not Lashawan, but the
The
text from like
Lashawan
the Phoenician
Kodash,
the original Hebrew like the Phoenician
the
text,
Paleo. Yeah.
the Paleo Hebrew, yes.
Hmm.
So that isn't what I want to learn how to read the
Definitely,
actual
I want to start
Masoretic.
going to Zion Lex's and Divine Prospects classes on the Hebrew for real. I want to learn that.
That's interesting that you said that because that's who I was just going to say before you even mentioned that. I want to show y'all something. Thank you for hitting the panel areas
Yep, I
while
just
you're up
wanted to
here.
come and show you some support. That's all.
I appreciate you. And
Yeah,
before you go though,
just
I
to
want
let
to
you know you got brothers that are actually rocking with you and actually
hey,
appreciate you.
peace to you. And you know what? You and a lot of other brothers are very supportive, very
Uh-huh.
cool. Sonnetter's in here. I think this is Sonnetter. Yeah, that's Sonnetter. Peace to you, Arius. And you know what? You got to come in and do a presentation. I want you to really sit down and talk to Sonnetter. He would love to talk to you because I've seen you on other channels. Come in and do
Yeah,
a
yeah. I
presentation.
remember the first time I came in, we was talking about I think like quantum. You said you was going to do a
Quantum
presentation on
physics.
like quantum physics and stuff like that,
Yes.
metaphysics. Yeah.
Yes. So
What you
glad to
think?
hear that
Oh,
you
I meant
study.
to ask you. What you know the UFO files dropped, and I know that's one subject you be talking
Oh,
about
you
being in
know we
like
like to
Nevada
talk
and
about that.
Arizona, New Mexico.
Yeah. Let me Sonnetter, he says you hit the panel, Sonnetter, not you, Arius. I
Okay.
want you to come in here because Saad is going wild. And he said he's in the back. So Sonnetter, come up here because he's saying you're protecting me. Listen, Arius, it's getting ready to get crazy. I don't know if you want to
Yes, I'm
if you
gonna head
want
out. I just want to come and show support. That's all.
definitely all love. Thank you so much. I
All right.
appreciate you
All love,
so
peace.
much. Peace, my friend. Peace, my friend. Okay, so Kasad is back. Sonnetter, you might have to come in and mediate and moderate because Kasad is saying that I'm running from him on a debate. And we already know that's not true. So, Kasad, what do you want to say? I'm showing, by the way, before you start talking, I'm showing the primary source, which is, so people can read it obviously in English. I'm showing the Qumran scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls, where it was children of God, the sons of God, to be specific. So I just want to show that it's not, but go ahead. What you want to say? What you want to say?
Just let me know when I can have the floor uninterrupted.
Did you mute me? Did I mute myself? Oh, go ahead. No, I didn't. My bad. Go ahead. What do you want to say about the debate?
Yeah, just let me know when I can have the floor uninterrupted.
Yeah, you can have the floor uninterrupted. However, you can't just get up here and then leave. You want to do a debate? We need to find out what we're going to debate. So can you talk about what you want to debate, please?
I will, but I just want the floor uninterrupted because it seems like
Have it.
Go
It's
ahead.
yours.
Because
It's
it
yours.
seems like
I said go.
when I I'm talking now. I'm talking now. You hear me? Can I be heard? I'm talking. Can I be heard? Yes, no. I need a quick something. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm talking. Can someone
We
hear
hear
me?
you. Go ahead. You're tripping. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, because it seems like the moment I start talking, then you want to talk over me, and now I'm being disrespectful. Now I'm wilding, right? Napa, I gave you my direct challenge. You mentioned in Deuteronomy 32, that's supposed to be in reference to a council of gods. I said it's not. You brought up the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm glad you brought the Dead Sea Scrolls up because guess what? In the debate, we will pull up the Dead Sea Scrolls and we will get the full context of that Deuteronomy 32 chapter. So I'm like, and then it's very simple. You want me to answer you very directly, but yet I asked you a very direct question and you told me I had to wait on the debate. That means any other question that you want to ask me on, you can wait on the debate too. I gave you my premise. The you trying to merge the Ugaritic culture and all the polytheistic culture and merge it. I disagree with that. I disagree on your stance in Deuteronomy 32. I disagree with the history that you're trying to push, that Yahweh and El of Canaan, the Canaanite God stuff was merged, and that the Israelites merged this culture with the. I disagree with that. You know my premise. I've stated my premise several times. I've debated my premise several times on here. You lied on me several times, said that I said the Israelites never worship any gods, any other gods outside of Yahweh. You've never heard me say that. Not one single time. Why would I say that when the biblical tradition tells you they went into idolatry? The difference is between me and you, I acknowledge that it's just idolatry. You're trying to remix the biblical history and says they start off this way and then they get into a monotheistic or a monolatrism, whatever you want to say. They start off polytheistic and then turn to a single deity. I told you I disagree with that. I challenge you on that, and you want to run around in a circle and talk about something totally and talk about what color is this and is the God in Genesis this. Actually address the claims that you made that I disagreed with and that I directly challenged you on. We're not going to make this into a pigsty of information that I directly challenged you on and you don't want to address. Because guess what? I'm so glad you quoted Mark Smith, because you obviously didn't read all of his work when he goes into Deuteronomy 32 and he tells you that those are supposed to be titles for Yahweh, that there was supposed to be no polytheistic picture in Deuteronomy 32, that's his interpretation. That's not what the author of Deuteronomy 32 intended. So why you didn't read that on Mark Smith? So you see, so it's not a reason I'm just picking on you. No, Pa, let's be honest. I have no personal gripe with you. Me and you done talked on the phone. Me and you done argued on the phone. Whatever. At the end of the time, do I not always say it's peace and blessings, whatever? But I argue with you on doctrine, theology, whatever you want to call it on. So, and let's be honest. Yes, I did take offense to you calling me a boy because you have thrown multiple insults at me multiple times, and I never called you out your name, Napa. Let's just be honest. You done said soup coolers to me because I got big lips, all type of stuff. And I never once disrespected you on the panel, bro.
That is
Or on the
untrue.
phone. You
That
never
is
said that to
untrue.
me, Napa? You never
I
said
say
that to
that
me?
to Sonnetter. I say that to everybody. It has nothing to do with your lips, sir. I never did that. I never. In
Oh,
fact, let me tell you something,
I
Kassad.
hold on.
Kassad, listen to
Go
me.
ahead.
I
Go ahead. Go
never
ahead. Go
talked
ahead. Go
about your
ahead.
look. No, listen. You're a very good-looking young man. You're lying. people try to talk about you because they get mad at you. I don't be talking about your lips. You're lying. I say soup coolers to my children because that's from my family. I say that to Sonnetter. He will attest to that. I said boy because I was like, boy, if you don't leave me alone, I wasn't calling you a boy. So I apologize now.
Hold on. I'm just.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
call you. I'm gonna call it. Napa. I let you go. I let you interrupt me when I was talking. I'm trying to call something to your memory because I want you to understand that. All right, never mind. I'm trying to get some comprehension between us two so we can be on a cordial piece. But I see you just want it to be your way. So it's cool.
No, we're cordial. We're cordial.
It's cool.
Finish saying what you need to say, and then I need to get back to the debate. I'm gonna say no. I did not say soup coolers. I say that to everybody. Everybody. So go ahead.
I'm not gonna make that up. Nepal, you said that to me on a live when I was on live with y'all.
No, I say soup cool. No, I say soup coolers, but I don't say it because somebody's lips. I just say because your lip. Everybody's cool soup with their lips. I wasn't talking about your looks. That's what I'm saying. But go ahead and finish.
I got you now. I understand what you're saying. But yeah, I never disrespect. I never called you out your name. Never talked on your looks. Never none of that. Every time me and you argue and disagree, it's strictly on information. Strictly on that. And I always wanted to stay that way. So, in talking to you, not only just for respect for Sa, but in respect for you, I never call you out your name. I talk to other debaters way worse while y'all on here capping. I didn't call the Sarum Ka stupids and all type of stuff. King J, I didn't insult to them way worse. All I do is match Napa energy. Y'all want Napa to get treated like a male debater? I'm going to treat her like a male debater as with some
male debater.
Yeah, they try to act like we treat you different.
There's no sex on debating.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna give you the same energy I give males.
I don't mind the energy, brother. Can you please get back to the information though?
People that send up here.
Yeah, but don't look at the chat. Don't just talk about the debate. What's up?
So you want I laid my premise down. It seemed like you misrepresenting me because you obviously it sounded like you're just not listening very clear. I never said the Israelites never worship any other deities. I never made that claim. My claim has always been in the Bible and in the Israelite culture, as in we can see in other Semitic cultures and religions. El is just the word for God, literally. Because El functions as a personal name in Ugarit, has no premise on other ancient Semitic cultures, which is what I showed several times in my debates. Akkad and Ebla predates Ugarit. They don't have a god named El. Several scholars have stated this. So why don't they have a god named El, but they have the word El? And I noticed every time I ask people for these actual texts of Yahweh being a second tier deity as a statement that you claim, and I challenge you on, nobody actually pulls the text. Now, and don't get me wrong, Napa, I don't mind answering your questions, but I want the same answer for my, like, if I'm actually going to answer a question, I want an actual answer to my question as well. So you saying, oh, it's in the Ugaritic text, that's not an answer to my question, because for one, I know it's not in the Ugaritic text. I have the Ugaritic text, and I also have the scholars that quote the Ugaritic text. It's not there. They actually state that it's not there because these people keep trying to merge El and Yahweh. So the scholars make it a note. They make it known that El Elyon is not a deity in Ugarit. So when you said that, I'm trying to give you information and spare you, but you want to jump out the box. So let's just set the debate up. I don't understand the point of us sitting up here going back and forth when we know where we disagree. I know where you disagree. I don't understand where you're not getting where I disagree. The other cultures in Canaan and Ugarit, stop trying to merge those with the Bible and with the Israelite culture. There's two different cultures, two different ideologies, two different gods. Is not the same. They don't start off polytheistic. That's a false. What's the word I want to look for? That's a false hypothesis that's put by these scholars that are jumping cultures and jumping texts. If you don't understand that, I don't know how else to help you, except for just beat you up in a debate.
Okay. So you asked me when I said I'm up here teaching. I just want to recap because we're going to get the title down for the debate. You asked me. First off, you said you don't agree. You hit the panel. I said, what do you disagree with, basically? You said that you disagree with me teaching the Elohim are a council of gods not the Most High God. And I'm referring to Genesis chapter 1-3, and also I use the sons of God in Deuteronomy 32. I'm just recapping. So we can debate on that part. Then you say to me, I agree, because I like to, I get what I want. I'm going to give you a debate of what you want. I will tie that debate into El being the God, the head of the Canaanite pantheon. And you say, you could correct me if I'm wrong, you say that I'm wrong about that. I won't be able to find that in the Ugaritic pantheon, that El is the head God, or that El's a part of that pantheon. Am I wrong?
You just completely messed up what I just said again.
See, that's okay. So tell me what part I messed up on. You said a lot.
For one, the thing with the divine council, I said in Deuteronomy 32, and in what you're trying to refer as, and that's supposed to be the divine council, and it's supposed to have its connection in a divine council with Ugarit. That's incorrect. When we look at Deuteronomy 32, that's not talking about even actual gods. In that verse, in the context, it's talking about humans. That's my
Oh,
stand.
okay. Put a pin in that one. Definitely going to get that debate. So that's going to be part of the debate. You say they're humans. I say they're divine. That's a divine council. Also the same as the Elohim in the garden of Genesis. Now keep going.
Now, hold on, Paul. Okay. And you notice how you just jump back into Genesis? I'm talking on Deuteronomy 32 and that divine counsel that you're implying there. That's what I'm talking about. If you listen to me, Nepal, I said Elohim can refer to a different God. It can refer to the gods of other nations. We're talking about Deuteronomy 32 and how you're trying to connect it with an outside culture and outside text. That's not the context of Deuteronomy 32.
I wasn't connecting that with an outside culture specifically in this lesson. I was showing a broader perspective I went outside of the Bible. Even people can scroll back and listen to the part of the live. I'm teaching that the Elohim in the garden are a council of divine beings. It's in the title. And they are also the sons of God, what we talk about sons of God. That is how I can tie in Genesis chapter 1-3 with Deuteronomy 32, verse 8-9. So that's my position. And yes, if you want, we can show that these Elohim can be correlated to the Ugaritic pantheon. I can do that. I have no problem doing that.
Hold on. You said it can be correlated. When you read the Deuteronomy 32 verse, you said it was. The scholar that you read even said it was. So that's why I'm saying that's incorrect.
No. I didn't say specifically. You don't misquote me. I was showing a broader perspective, an extra biblical reference with Mark Smith that you can see in that region during that time that there was polytheism, and that the Israelites who were in that region worshipped polytheistically. Even I get it. You said you don't dispute that. So I was showing that this pantheon that's referred to in the early writing it's not far-fetched that it can be correlated to the polytheistic Ugaritic pantheon. But I assert, I'm going to park my car. I will debate that the Elohim of Genesis in the creation story and of 32 are a council of many gods, not just one Most High God. I can do that. And I can also use the Ugaritic pantheon. I won't dispute that. I'll stand my ground. If you want, I can show that the Ugaritic predates the Israelite religion, and that that's what it's sort of like a prototype, like I talk about with Kemet. I have no problem asserting that because the information supports what I teach. Hello?
No, I'm done. I'm waiting. I'm letting you finish.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. So as I was I kind of lost the thing. So I want it clear. I want it clear and plain. Deuteronomy 32. You think that that's referring to another a council of gods, and Yahweh wasn't the supreme deity, and Yahweh was a second tier deity, and he somehow got the top position later. You stand on that in Deuteronomy 32, right? So I won't misrepresent you. You stand on that in Deuteronomy 32, right?
Yeah, hold on. I stand on that. It is 100% the sons of God. I'm clarifying. It's 100% the sons of God, a council of divine beings. I'm not going to put in there and Yahweh wasn't a supreme deity, because I'm going to use factual information. Now, if you want to say,
you just lost me. You just lost me.
no, because that's where
He
you want.
wasn't the.
See, you
Hold
came in
on,
the
hold on. I'm
middle.
trying to understand you. Like how you asked me. You want a clarification? I'm trying to understand because I just got lost. He's not the supreme deity. I mean, no, you saying he. You're not gonna say he's not the supreme deity, but you called him a second tier deity earlier.
I know when you walked in, I was reading from Mark Smith, showing that that's where you came in, where Mark Smith said the tier collapsed from El Elyon, collapsed into Yahweh, and Yahweh became the top tier deity. And then
And
I made
you agree with
a
that?
compare. Do I agree yeah, I agree with that. Yes,
And that's what I'm saying. That's incorrect.
No. Stop. According to the literature, that you can see, that's where I'm agreeing. I'm not agreeing with my feelings. The
I'm
literature
saying that's
shows
incorrect according to the literature.
that in now we're talking about Hebrew, right? In the Bible, the El Elyon predates Yahweh. It's just
That's your stance.
they weren't using but they weren't using. Then tell me why. Well, you don't want to answer questions. Then let me let people know. The fact is that Yahweh isn't anywhere in the original text in the Bereshit. When you look at the chapter 1, there's nothing referring to Yahweh at all. It's all El. So that's where I agree. Yes, I do.
That's in the pot. Okay, I get that. That's your stance, and I disagree. And every let's just let's just get the actual debate. Last thing that I wanted, but I forgot the second thing that you said.
The second thing was that they're a council of divine beings.
No, they're not that part. It was the second thing that you said before we got to Deuteronomy 32 that I wanted to clear up, but I can't think of it right now. It just slipped my mind.
Well, so we're going to debate that. We're going to debate Genesis chapter 1-3 and Deuteronomy 32, that those are sons of God, the Elohim council of divine beings, or no? And we can, and I can also add in some kind of nuance with and we can use the Ugaritic as proof. I don't know, because you really want to debate that. I have no problem showing the Ugaritic because it supports my. I don't know what kind of magic trick. No disrespect, but the Ugaritic shows that there's sons of God before the Hebrew Bible was written. You can have the mic.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember the second thing you said. That's why I was trying to think. But anyway, yeah. So you got my stance. Deuteronomy 32 that's not in reference to no divine council that has nothing to do with Ugarit. That those cultures aren't tied to each other. Um, the polytheistic origin thing. That thing. That's the Yahweh was a second tier deity. That's what I want to talk about. The text. That's not based on the text. You keep saying the stuff in the text. That stuff not in the text. That's not in the Ugaritic text, and it's not in the Hebrew text. Yahweh was not even mentioned. Oh, if I can finish.
No, you can
was
finish.
not mentioned anywhere in Ugaritic.
Right.
So where is? Huh?
I said right. I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
Oh, I didn't hear you say right. So you keep saying it's coming from the text. What text? You're like I said, and then you say you're not you're literally merging two different cultures. You're jumping from Ugarit and then jumping back into the Bible and trying to merge them into one. Just because you see some of the same similar words. And I ask everyone this, right? Does Ugarit have the authority on these words? Yes or no? Does these words predate Ugarit or does these words start in Ugarit?
I can't tell you for sure, but I guess you said you have information that L predates the Ugaritic, so that's not gonna hurt my stance. Because it
completely
all came
destroys your
before.
stance.
No, it all came before the Hebrew Bible, so it's still fine.
And then you said they didn't know Yahweh according to. You know what? Just let's just set it up. There's so many different
All
things.
right,
Like
yeah, we can set it up.
I don't even. At this point, let's just get the debate. I'm challenging you on the polytheistic origin, the divine counsel that you keep trying to imply in Deuteronomy 32. I'm challenging you on Yahweh being a second tier deity. All of this is the challenge. Okay, so you can't say I'm not talking directly to what you stated in the video, as you said. All of these is what you stated in the video, and this is what I'm directly challenging you on.
Okay, that's no problem. Because I told you where I'm getting the information from, and it's solid. So,
And
because
I told you where I'm
yeah.
getting my information from. The same scholars that you pulled up, Mark Smith, I got his work. The same where you want to go into the Ugaritic text, I got not only Mark Smith's Ugaritic text, I have another Ugaritic text that to fact check and go against his translation and make sure he's right. So let's just set it up at this point.
All I want
Okay,
to know,
now
can I
go
host
ahead,
it?
Apostle. Yeah,
All I
Apostle wants to
want to
host
know,
it.
can I host it?
Yeah, you could be the moderator.
Yeah,
Why not?
that's what I mean. Can I moderate?
I don't mind. I have no problem with that.
All right. All right.
That sounds great.
Okay. I
So
think
I
this
was
is going to
trying.
be a good debate.
Thank you, Apostle.
Yeah.
What do you say, Zaquan? I know you. I think well, you're going to moderate it, so don't say anything. Yeah, I
Right.
don't want you to sound biased. So,
Right.
okay, now we will get, as everybody heard, we can get with Sonetter and pick a date because clear, get it all on paper. And yeah, I'll debate you. I have no problem talking about I'm scared. I'm not scared of you,
You be talking about some
brother.
I'm scared, like I don't like I'm ducking you or something. Stop that, man.
No, you're not. You're not scared. You just come in windmilling and not eat with blindfolds on. You just pick up
You funny.
yeah. You just like and okay. You're hitting. I'm catching
She's in
some.
promotion mode, man. She's in promotion mode.
So anyway, Apostle.
Yes.
I would like to do this debate with him soon, but I think we might have to do it before because we got Reggie and Jabari coming up because I want to do a paid debate. You do know that, right, Kassad? I'm selling tickets for my debate.
Hey, however it go. I'm with it.
Yeah, who got the truck in the background?
What truck?
I hear a truck in the back. It's gone. It's gone.
Oh, that's not me. No, that's not me.
It might be because my window open. Hold on. It might be.
Yeah. On the screen, you see I was just showing the Dead Sea Scrolls with the sons of God. I mean, pretty much I'm going to stop sharing. I'm glad we could get to a common ground here. That's always good. I think I've been going for 3 hours. Maybe we'll do more of this on the House of Consciousness, bigger platform, like maybe a weigh-in. But yeah, I'm definitely ready to debate this, and I'm gonna let Sonetter know that I want Apostle to moderate it. I'm gonna close this down. Yeah, so I'll do.
And tell Sonetter to go ahead and put the date on Jabari and Reggie before Reggie duck out.
I don't think Dr. Reggie's gonna duck out of this one.
If they don't soon get a date, I like for them to get a date, and that'll kind of, okay, well, we got a date now. But right now, we don't have a date. We just got talking. So
right,
they need a date. They need time to promote it, but they also need a date. So
exactly, we got to promote it. So we're waiting on the venue confirmation. I think it's going to be at the college. So once we get that, things are going to start progressing really quickly. So it could be any day now. Hopefully I'll see you out there. You going to go? You going, Marcus? Are you going to go, Kassad? You going to head to New York for the debate of Jabari and Reggie?
If I get a good date, I ain't gonna lie, I'll probably try to make it out there. But I work on an ambulance, bro. I work some crazy long hours. So
right.
I'll have to get that in advance. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm in the Midwest, I'll have to know in advance what's going on.
Right. I think he might do that once. What about you, Apostle? You're going to be there.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be. I mean, it will be done live on StreamYard. I mean, on Zoom, right?
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I know I'm not gonna be able to make. To drive to New York is 27 hours.
Oh wow, you don't fly?
Possibly, but it depends on when it is. I got a family reunion coming. I got to drive to DC. That's 12 hours to drive to DC.
That's not far from New York.
Where I live from New York is 10 hours.
Oh, well, why'd you say 27? You mean round trip?
No, I'm talking about from DC, the part of DC I live in Maryland.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I'm 12 hours from Maryland.
And you're 10 hours from New York.
Once I get to Maryland, I'll be like 9 hours. Say 8 to 9 hours from New York.
That's weird because Sister Freedom, she lives in the DMV area, and it takes her maybe 3 hours to drive to New York.
It all depends on where. She's northern DMV or southern
I don't know.
DMV.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, see, I'm near Richmond.
Oh, okay, Richmond, Virginia.
The part of Maryland I'm right down almost at the Virginia border.
Oh yeah, I think my niece's alma mater is there. University of Virginia. She went to.
We call it DC. I mean, I was born and raised in DC, but now my family has relocated down to what they call Charles County, Prince. It's not Prince William. It's Charles County, La Plata area. It's like an hour and a half from DC.
Okay. So it's far, but you don't want to. Well, yeah, it's gonna be on the internet as well. But I'm just seeing who I'm gonna be able to meet in person and who I'm not gonna be able to meet in person.
I've never been talking about me and my spouse, making that trip, flying, and staying with y'all. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that'll be great. Oh my gosh, to meet everybody. Somebody, Lance DMV said not that long. I'm from DC, and it takes 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, that's what I thought. But
if you live in DC, it'll take 4 or 5 hours. But I'm like, if to drive to DC, enter DC, it will take me an hour and a half from where I live in Maryland.
Well, we got to figure out what the date is, give people time to plan, promote, get these tickets, because that's going to be the debate of the year, I think. Brother Reggie versus Brother Jabari. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on doing setting up the debate between Kassad and me. So, and Sonetta, you're listening. Apostle's going to be the moderator. All right, everybody.
Let me say this before y'all go.
Yes.
I don't know if it was the best debate, but it's up there. The debate with Morpheus when I beat up Morpheus.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was a damn good debate.
You said when you brought up, was that a good debate?
Oh, that was a great debate. I loved it, and I got to moderate it. The debates we've been having this year are top tier. I'm saying I love the debate. Yeah, that was Apostle. You impressed me. I'm not gonna lie. You pulled out all your A game on that one. All your A game. Shout out to Brother Morpheus. He definitely brought his A game. He was a tough, very formidable opponent. So toughest environment. That was great.
God be praised.
All praise to the Most High. So let's see. Beautiful G, our sister says, good show. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in. We will do more of this. And no, Marcus, I'm not running. Once this ends, you guys will not have to worry about not hearing about me debating Kassad. I will definitely debate Kassad. And let's get it in. Let's do these debates. Toughest environment.
One more commercial.
Yes, sir.
A show coming up I'm putting together. Showing the differences of Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3, Genesis chapter 1, verses 1, 2, and 3, how different they are using the Hebrew. And I'm going to use the moderate Hebrew. I'm not even going to use the Paleo Hebrew. I'm going to use the Masoretic and show that it differs substantially from the English.
Wow. You know what? I thought of you. I thought of you, Apostle. I'm glad you mentioned that. When I was looking at how the Masoretic text has how the scribes manipulated and removed so much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was thinking about your teaching. So yeah, that'll be great.
I've been saying that for a long time. You know, I'm the only one. Seem like my Hebrew family, they go along with these small hats. I don't understand it, man. How can they put their trust and faith in these people to do anything to promote them in any kind of way?
Well, I was showing earlier in this lesson the difference between Deuteronomy 32 and 8 compared to looking at the textual criticism with Michael Heiser with his information. When you look at the Septuagint, when you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, Deuteronomy 32 and 8 and 9, the Masoretic has just wiped out literally removed a whole verse in that in this particular part of the Bible of the teaching. So I mean, everybody can scroll back and watch that. I'm not going to go back into it, but yes, I'm looking forward to seeing your show. Apostle gets it in with the language. They don't know what they're talking about when they try to come at you. I'm saying it to my brothers and sisters. When they come at Apostle about the Lashawan, the Paleo Hebrew, or whatever you want to say, Phoenician, whatever you want to call it, they are not winning because he has facts on that. Definitely. So whenever you're going to do it, schedule it. You said you're doing it when? When are you doing your lesson?
I'm still putting the information together.
Okay.
I'm showing that I'm retranslating it back to the original.
We got people in the chat talking about what in the heresy is going on here. You'll see. All right, everybody. Peace to the panel. Peace to God, Apostle. Shalom, everybody. Peace. I'm ending the stream. Thank you.